Welcome to Broad Ideas. Hello, people.
Hello, Rachel.
At least
And Rob.
I got a hello.
Hey.
Fucking Rob.
Look at his face when he does it too. Do it again.
He's a little weasel.
Hey.
Hey.
You try and keep
Everybody
straight.
loves
You try
Rob.
and keep loves.
Loves.
People have been writing in being like, can you do an episode where it's just you, Rachel, and Rob, please?
Do you think people want to see Rob's feet?
Obviously. Let's see those babies. Got more and more requests. Okay, let's introduce.
Okay. Speaking of favorite people, one of my favorite people, Jedidiah Jenkins, a very old dear friend of mine.
He's not
Pretty
that
young
old.
though, yeah.
He's not old, but it's been many a years that we have been friends. We have gone on epic adventures together, and I love him so much. He is joining us today. He is a best-selling author, a New York Times best-selling author, I should say.
He's just a best-selling author. He's the
best-selling
best
author.
at being a selling author.
He's the best at being a selling author. Correct. His first book, To Shake the Sleeping Self, was a phenomenal read. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend. His new book, Mother Nature, just came out in November. What? Why are you guys being weird?
We're not.
Anyways, let's just get Jed on because you guys are assholes. Let's welcome
do that.
Jed. It makes me so happy. You're my favorite person.
You seem to be everybody's favorite person.
Whoa.
I know.
You know
It's
that.
like a thing. It's
you
okay.
and your energy
It's all right.
and yourself is the best thing in the fucking world.
I mirror that back to y'all.
Is that what it is?
Right.
What do you think connects you to people? Because every time your name comes up over the years, you're like a god to people. They're like, oh, my very favorite person. And
We were all in the Church of Jedidiah.
what is
Okay, let me think about that. No one's ever asked me that question before. Let me try to answer it.
Yeah.
I think that it's a combination of I'm naturally like a curious, friendly guy.
Mhm.
B, a lot of queer kids, like especially when you grow up in the South, are a very like intense place. When you realize you're different, like for me, like 7th grade, when I really realized what it was, there was just a moment of like, this is all subconscious. I don't know I'm doing this, but it's like, you need to connect with people because the world is scary. Like you're in trouble here. You're at a Christian school, a macho football situation, like, and you're realizing that the word that you might be is the word everyone uses as an insult.
Right.
So that's like a scary thing to realize when you're like 12. And so I think I really leaned into like, you need to connect with people and make them feel seen and make sure they see you.
Yeah.
And then you'll be safe because they'll want to protect you. I think that's me like analyzing my
I mean, I
Yeah,
think
I
that's,
love it.
yeah.
So
I
my
think-
brain became obsessed with figuring out like, how do you connect with people? How do you like make them trust you and you trust them so that you won't be like hurt?
I love
That's a
that.
guess. So that was my little child self trying to protect. You know, like anybody, I would say, I'm sure you've had lots of like comedians in your life or on this show and like people, and there's always like some root cause of their comedy,
Of course.
whether it was being bullied, whether it was fear, whether it was the parents they were raised with. Like it was like a defense mechanism that actually like saved their life.
Yep.
So, but also the Church of Jed, LOL, is, I think, for me, I think the reason I became a writer was when my brain turned on and I looked around the world and the world wasn't made for me and I was like naturally in trouble. My brain became obsessed with how does the world work?
Mm.
Because if I can actually predict how the world works and I can see the patterns of why society is built the way it is, why people act the way they do, what their motivations are, I can predict the world and therefore make it to where I'm okay. And I think that type of observation turned me into a writer
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
because it made me have to think about it
Right.
so deeply.
Yeah. And you're a beautiful writer.
Beautiful bone structure.
Yeah.
The
And
words are fine. The face is great.
I know a few people that were at your workshop this week.
Really?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
so fun.
Was it?
So this past weekend, dear listener, we had a mind and body writing workshop, which my friend Ruthie joined me. She's like an embodiment meditation. Like she's dealt with chronic pain ever since a horrific car accident when she was young. And so she's like this embodiment coach, like unbelievable. But she's very like, ooh, Topanga Canyon crystals. And
Yeah.
I am not that. So it was a great combo balance because I'm very in my head and have trouble getting in my body. She's very in her body. So it was this really fun balance. And we had people come from all over the world and we did this weekend thing and it was writing prompts and it was really, really fun and cool.
We want to go to the next one.
I know.
Why was I not?
Why did we not know? We wanted to be there. Like, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute.
It was in Highland Park. That's close.
Yeah.
Hello.
I know.
I don't get an invite. I don't get it.
Well, next, I think what we want to do is 1 year in LA, 1 year in Nashville, 1 year in LA, 1 year in Nashville.
We'll come to Nashville.
I know. Nashville's fun.
Yeah, Nashville's great.
But it would be hard to do it more than
once a
year because it's very high touch, which is gorge. But it is very, and I would be curious y'all's perspective on this. It is very strange, energetically strange to be like in a room with people who adore you that you don't know personally.
Yeah.
Like that is not natural. And I love every one of them, but I don't like the way that makes me feel.
I totally get that.
Because it's like, I guess like what you take for granted in your life is when you're just like shooting the shit with your friends and someone's like, get your feet off me, they smell bad or whatever it is. Like there's this like natural balance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When that imbalance is really strong, it just makes me feel, it throws me off. So I can't be in that a lot. I don't know how like Oprah lives.
Well, do you think it has to do with, it seems to me that you're a very curious person, like you said. And through your writing, through your adventures, through all the things you've been through in your life, your curiosity seems to be outside of yourself. So then when you're in that situation, it's a lot being projected at you. And that's probably more uncomfortable because you're used to being the generous one.
That is so astute. One thing that I find so fascinating is like, let's say I go to a cocktail party, then I don't know anybody. It does not cross my mind that anyone can see me. I feel like a Ring camera. Like I'm in there and I'm like, whoa, look at her dress. She looks amazing. Or like, oh my gosh, that person. I'm like fascinated by everyone else. And it doesn't dawn on me that I'm visible.
Right.
Where so many people that I know who have like social anxiety, they walk into that room and they think everyone's looking at me. No one thinks I should be here. Everyone's like, why is she here? It would never cross my mind to think that. Because I don't think I'm there. I know I'm there, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not thinking about myself.
Because you're outside,
I'm just curious about the experience and everybody else, which makes me confident to do things because I feel almost like a journalist. Like they say that the power of a journalist's camera, you can be like in a war zone. And because you're looking at the war through the viewfinder, you don't feel unsafe because you're there to capture it.
Right.
And you'll walk towards an explosion because you're like, that's a good shot.
Right.
There's like a layer where you're not there.
Right.
Whereas if you're just there, you're scared shitless.
Wow.
Well, it's also the purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have purpose behind it or service behind it, you're going to be more comfortable.
That's exactly. So my new book, Mother Nature, is about like my very complicated, hard relationship with my mother, who I love.
Barb.
And Barb, sweet Barb. And we have like blowout arguments and fights in this book that the only way I could have those, I was too chicken shit to ever talk to her about those things. But I committed to writing this book about our relationship. And I knew that there are things that I'm afraid to talk to her about that I have to for the book.
Right.
Which is for me.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But I wouldn't do it for just me. I would avoid it and move
course.
to California.
Yeah.
Like get away and not confront her. But because I had a book to write, it gave me a purpose.
It was your lens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it
were
was my
behind- had that
journalist lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. But
Yeah.
a little backstory with it, we'll talk about that, and also your first book, which we'll get to as well. But maybe you can give a little backstory on you and Barb.
Yeah, so I feel like this is not a unique experience. Like the generational gap of just your parents not understanding you or pressure to be something you're not. And that can create very painful rifts, and it can like break relationships, especially for queer kids, but it can happen to anybody.
Mhm.
Like one of my best friends she grew up Orthodox Jewish, and she didn't want to marry a Jewish guy. And it like has caused, she didn't marry a Jewish guy and have a baby by 24. And it's like been the trauma of her mother's life.
Right.
And that they like the trauma of her life of just being a disappointment to her Jewish mother
Yeah.
was like, and so it was so interesting when I write about my experience being gay in a Christian, raised in a traditional conservative Christian home. She reads that as a straight woman and is like, this is my story. Like, I feel exactly this.
Right.
Like my mother weeps about me, like all the things. So my mom loves the Lord, conservative, Southern lady, very perfect. And, she just like, she's been praying since the day she asked me if I was gay, which was like, I was 21, I think.
It didn't happen until you were 21.
Yeah. She suspected it when I was like, well, my dad suspected it when I was 2 and asked her. And
2.
yeah,
That's
there's like,
young.
I'm sure with kids in your lives, you've seen like a kid that was really young and you go, oh, that kid is light and fun. Like there's something going on there. Or that kid is like melancholy and they're going to be Edgar Allan Poe. And they're like that from day one.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Born this way.
Yeah.
But the world in which she was brought up in and as an adult engaged was that is going to give you AIDS and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 80s when I was born. And B, not what God wants and is like an abomination and is the like beginning of the end of the traditional family, of the way God wants a family to be. This is like cutting at the heart of like, so it's just this like really ingrained thing. And the church is telling you that a kid isn't born gay. They're like influenced to be that way by molestation, by an absent father, by a blah, 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 blah. And so it's just a worldview that is so different for her. And it's just been so hard and impossible for her to believe that this is not a choice and this is not me being seduced by the liberal coastal elites.
Oh gosh.
That it's like,
yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to write this book because I have so many friends that have completely severed their relationship with their families.
Mm.
And it was exacerbated by the Trump era. Like
Right.
I know people that was the straw, like you're done.
Right.
And so over the last few years, especially after Trump was elected, I had numerous people be like, your relationship with your mom is very interesting because we are very close. We talk all the time. I talked to her on the drive here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were able to hold fundamental, emotional, profound, important differences and stay in relationship and love.
So incredible.
Yeah.
And we both think we're so right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
reminds me of like the global political situation right now. Like
Right.
it's so entrenched and everybody could put their heels down and just be like, fuck you. I don't feel safe. You've betrayed me, whatever it is. So that planted the seed of like, I don't even know why we're like this, but it would be interesting to try to figure out because maybe there's a clue or maybe there's some roadmap for other people who feel activated. My friend Ruthie taught me that
That's what she
what I
said.
said.
activated.
Yeah, instead of
Yes.
triggered,
Yes.
it's
Yeah, I'm
activated.
activated. I'm feeling.
Oh, you and Ruth.
Yeah,
yeah,
me
yeah.
and Ruthie are
Uh-huh.
just.
Yeah, that checks. But I
Yeah.
think that's so true. Like we're so activated by all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to analyze it and say, what is this? And that's what this book is.
So what's crazy to me is obviously your parents walked across the
Mhm.
country Okay. So you hear these stories and you're like, that's so hippie-like.
I know, they were hippies.
Right. Hippies in a Christian.
Right. Well, they were like, my
Belief.
mom was always so loving of the Lord, like in seminary. My dad was like hippie, beard, Woodstock, whatever.
Got it.
But then in the 70s, my dad, this is like peak Vietnam, young people hate America intensity. And so he decides he's going to walk across America because he was complaining. Well, he was complaining about how much America sucks. And some like older man was like, dude, you're from Greenwich, Connecticut. You don't know America.
Right.
Like, what do you know? You don't know real America. And it just like planted this seed in his head of like, I'm going to just walk across America and meet everybody.
I mean,
Which is
I
so
know.
funny because that's like something I would do. I'm like, so
Well, you kind of did
I know.
on a bike, but
I'm
we'll get
still
to
my
that.
parents' kid. But so he started doing that and he walked from New York to New Orleans where he met my mom, who was in seminary at the time. But he was, charismatic, lots of bravado. He walked into the National Geographic headquarters in Washington, D.C. because he loved Nat Geo. And he said, I want to take photos for you. I'm walking across America. And they were like, who are you? Go away. We're like real. And then as he was leaving, they ran out and they were like, we changed our mind. Here's a camera, whatever.
Oh, wow.
So my parents ended up being on the cover of National Geographic. It's like very wild.
the wildest.
Yeah. And they wrote these really popular, famous articles, which then became, hugely best-selling books. Like it is such a huge deal in the year of our Lord 2023 for a book to sell 1 million copies. Who knows if I'll ever do that? My parents' books sold 12 million copies.
Whoa,
Like, it was
that's
like
insane.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
Massive.
And they were like a love story for America. Love. And, and then my dad was really the star and my mom was the sidekick. And, then they moved back to Tennessee, or they decided to move to Tennessee to raise a family. And my dad is off touring, speaking. My mom is raising 3 kids on a farm. And then the marriage, like fame, the marriage starts to like fall apart. My dad's having a good old time with whoever, wherever. And the marriage explodes. But the complexity is they're a famous Christian couple.
Wow.
And they're having like it's the marriage is falling
They're
apart.
having real life.
And there's no there's no wrath like Christian fans scorned.
Right.
And so it was this bloodbath of what. So basically, their fame crumbled.
Yeah.
And my mom was left with the kids, all the things. And so I grew up in this very weird, like Rome had fallen. Like, remember when we had money and people loved us, and now we're cutting coupons, and like it was a big deal to like go to the movies and eat at Applebee's.
Yes.
So it was this really interesting kind of like feeling that I got from my parents. And it's very much instilled in me the belief that everything can go away.
Yeah.
Right.
I get
So
that.
like I'm glad I'm like that, but it probably stifles me with relationships. But for example, like I have no debt. I do not buy fancy things because I'm just like, I need to make this money last, and I'm going to just live simply because tomorrow everyone could hate me. Like, because that happened to my parents. It's like very interesting how these stories get passed down.
I want to help you let that go.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Let's let that one go.
Let's do it. So
What a way to enter the world, though.
yeah. Well,
Right.
there's so many pros and so many cons.
Sure.
Like, the pro is both of my parents were like adventurous writers who
Right.
never had a normal job. I never saw my parents go to work.
Right.
They divorced when I was very young, but grew up on a farm. They were just there. My dad was either writing or feeding the cows, and they were around, which was really special. And as I was developing dreams of like wanting to be a Hollywood director or wanting to be a Disney animator or wanting to whatever, there was never like you can't do that. It was
Right.
very much like we walked across America. We created a
Right.
life that was very strange. You can do whatever you want. So I very much, that's influenced me. I feel very free.
Yeah.
So for this book, the framework of Mother Nature is, I know so much about my dad's adventures and I've heard him speak and he's like, had that fame. And my mom has like kind of been like, oh yeah, I was there too her whole life.
Yeah.
And I did that too. And I co-wrote those books. And so I was like, Mom, let's do a road trip and retrace your walk. I would love to see every town you were in. And she was like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought of that, nor have I been back to those places in 40 years.
Wow.
And then she goes, and look what I found. And she had a journal from every day of 3
Are
years.
you kidding?
No, and she's like 30 years old. Like, how special to meet your parent
Oh my
in
God,
that
at
way
30. Oh.
at her 30-year-old mind
Wow.
before you existed.
Yeah.
When she's in love with your dad and like all the things. And so we're just like driving from town to town and she's reading her thoughts from that day. When
This
she was
is
in that town.
This is
It was very
You
cool.
know.
It's
Come
very
on.
cool. Like I wanted,
Yeah.
So cool.
part of my intention was my mom is this like force of nature, which is where the title Mother Nature came from. Because I was going to call it Force of Nature. And then I realized it's about my mom. And I was like, what if we call it Mother Nature? Which is cute.
Oh, yeah.
And yet I was like, and she has so much power over me and I want her approval. And I just like want her to be okay with me and like give me this like godly approval. And yet she's also a human. She's just a girl who got older.
Yeah.
Right.
Like every mother, y'all included, is like, you're just like a teenage girl that like got older and you're still you.
It's
And
right.
all this, and all of a sudden this child is looking at you. I mean, all my mom friends, they go, the craziest moment is when you leave the hospital with the baby and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
no one's coming with me. This
Right.
is now, I
Yeah.
can just take this human home and now I have to keep it alive indefinitely. Like you're just a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to befriend my mom as a 30-year-old, as me as an adult, and know her as a human to almost like dethrone the power a little bit so that I could stand in my own strength.
Right.
And it worked. And it made me love her more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it like took some of the charge away.
Broad Ideas is supported by Vegamore. Real change happens when you're consistent and achieving the hair of your dreams is no exception. Thanks to Vegamore, sticking to my hair routine has never been easier and I'm finally seeing the results I've always wanted. Vegamore products are 100% cruelty-free and are never formulated with potentially harmful chemicals like parabens or hormones. When it comes to seeing results, the key is consistency. I've made it a part of my daily routine for the last 2 weeks, and I am so happy with the way my hair looks and feels. For best results, use for a minimum 3 months for visibly fuller, healthier, and thicker looking hair. I'm so excited about the Grow Hair Serum. I have to tell you guys, it feels impossible for my hair to grow. Ever since I stopped breastfeeding, I feel like it just stays at the same length, but thanks to the Grow Hair Serum, I am seeing results, people. Having my monthly subscription of Grow Hair Serum, Vegamore makes it easy to stay consistent. When I sign up for a monthly subscription, I can get 1 bottle or 3 bottles sent. Plus, I save more and I never run low on the products I need to take care of my hair. Fun fact, Vegamore sells 1 bottle of Grow Hair Serum every 15 seconds on their website. That's how good this stuff is. Elevate your hair wellness routine this year with Vegamore. For a limited time, get 20% off your first subscription order by going to vegamore.com/ideas and use code IDEAS at checkout. That's vegamore.com/ideas, code IDEAS to save 20% on your first order. vegamore.com/ideas, code IDEAS. Broad Ideas is supported by Thrive Market. You know, one of my favorite things about Thrive Market, I love finding options that we're used to, but you can feel better about giving them to your children. Like staying a little healthier, especially in the new year, has been really important for me. And Thrive Market is my go-to for all of my grocery and household essentials, and the convenience of getting everything online, then quickly shipped to my doorstep is a huge time saver. And as a Thrive Market member, I save money on every single grocery order. On average, I save over 20% each time. They even have a deals page that changes daily and always has some of my favorite brands. It felt so good with my last order. I always like to buy my daughter the Annie's brand, and Thrive carries it. I also saved in ordering it. It's our mac and cheese go-to. It's our cheddar bunny go-to. So happy to have it there. Also, Bamboo Nature, I love their products, and we were able to get that too. When you join Thrive Market, you are also helping a family in need with their 1-for-1 membership matching program. You join, they give. Join in on the savings with Thrive Market today and get 30% off your first order, plus a free $60 gift. Go to thrivemarket.com/ideas for 30% off your first order, plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/ideas. thrivemarket.com/ideas. Yeah, but what a cool experience. You know, I mean, I'm like, I wish I had been writing journals.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like,
shit,
I'm going to start writing today to my kids.
I know. But it's also like, just all of it, just the whole experience and your relationship with your mom and your parents. And then even you being their child and going on your own insane journey to Shake the Sleeping Self, which was your first book, which is also fucking mind-blowing what you did, which you're going to have to tell about that too. But it's just what a cool, I just always look at you in your life and I'm like, you're living the fucking most fulfilled, coolest life out of anyone I know. I mean,
I feel great about it. It's great.
No, like just looking in, it's like, but the things you do, how you are as a person, the way you make everyone feel when you're in the room, like all of it, it's like seems like such a fulfilled existence. I don't know that you feel that way all the time, but I'm telling you what it
I feel that way a lot. I feel really great about it. I will say I had a really profound experience at the writer's workshop this weekend where this amazing trans man was there and he came up and I one of the writing prompts was I asked everyone to write their obituary from the future, the obituary they want.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of seeing yourself.
Yeah.
And he got up there and he said something which was very compelling. He goes, growing up and, you know, fearing my transness or whatever, I never thought I would be old. I couldn't because he was afraid of affirming his own gender. And so he was imagining himself in that gender dysphoric state.
Right.
And he was like, I'd rather die. I can't imagine pretending to be a woman and be old. So he's like, I have never thought about myself as an old person and I can't even imagine it. And he was like, it has been so profound in this moment for the first time in my life to allow myself to imagine me being old in my truth, like to just be old. And I think that something less acute than that experience, but for me, this fear of when you're a queer kid, like in the closet, I was so afraid of like living in fear and like this gotcha, like the fear of the gotcha when you're like a queer kid is so scary because someone's going to find out, someone's going to read your journal, someone's going to see your browser history and you're fucked and everyone's going to never talk to you again. And I just had such a fear of that feeling that I've like dedicated my adult life to like total transparency, total freedom, total like pursuit of authentic integrity, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm like, that was the worst feeling and I'm not doing that again.
Right. And you can condition yourself to do that even if you are being honest about your preferences, then you'll see that come up in other areas. Like, oh, I'm feeling like a fraud in this area or I'm going to be found out. And that's something that you can really deeply condition yourself to live with. And the fact that it sounds to me like that wasn't given to you by someone else. That was your kind of intuition and wisdom that made that decision.
I think so. I mean, it was my innate motivation to just, I'm an Enneagram 7. Do y'all know about the Enneagram?
I do. Yeah. I don't know enough about it.
I don't know.
So the Enneagram is this like, it's just kind of a fun tool. It's like a personality test kind of, or like Myers-Briggs.
Oh, yeah.
There's 9 numbers. I'm a 7, which is an enthusiast. And so I just like am excited about everything. But so, and then each number is, it's interesting. Your expression of your personality is mirrored by a root fear.
Yep.
So much of who you are is actually rooted in a fear.
Mm.
And so like a 3, which is an achiever, their number one root fear, their motivating fear is failure. And so populated on top of the fear of failure are all these personality traits that they're vain, they're super successful, they're driven, they're this, they're that. And it's all you can dial it back
Boil it all down.
Yeah. So for me, my root fear is pain. So I'm always happy. If you're crying, now I've done a lot of work around this. If you're sad, I'm immediately trying to make you happy. I'm like, we're jumping in the pool. Let's get naked.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Like, come on. Because I can't sit with you in your pain because
Right.
it scares me too much.
Wow.
We're-
But yeah.
Where someone who has a really comfortable relationship with emotions, they'll sit with you and cry with you.
Right.
And they'll not try to fix you. They'll let you feel
That's
that.
so interesting.
It's really interesting.
It's so
But
beautiful.
it also brings, because so we went to Africa together. Like, I can't tell you, oh my God, I shouldn't. Anyway, we went to Africa together
Do
with
tell.
invisible children. And, we saw some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like very serious matters and things that we were exposed to and experiencing and everything. But every moment, like Jed was just bringing the joy, the humor,
Wow.
the fun. And it was the most memorable trip of our life because all I take from it, everything we absorbed, which was so much, and there's so much reflection from it and everything else, but it was the happiest trip of my life
Mhm.
because he's on the fucking bus in like the back skirts of like Uganda, like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
making everybody like die laughing because it's fucking Jed. But that speaks exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's my big, like one of the bigger takeaways was just being in your presence throughout that. And it was the most fun ever. Like playing games in the
I
fucking,
know.
like,
I love a game on a bus. When you have 6 hours, it's
Yes.
fun.
I love a game anywhere.
I mean, hiking
Anywhere.
the Nile with like alligator, and we're up there and whatever. It's just like the experience
We
is
really need to
heightened.
find like all the photos. I know Kenny has them. We just need to like.
Does he? Because
have
I
a
don't
full-
have them.
He has millions.
I need them all. I do have a video of us singing to the girls' dorm that was built and like all of us performing. I have a little clip I'll show you. It's
God.
like, and we're making up songs and we're performing it and we're like on the boat on the Nile and we're reenacting the Lion King. Like, I mean, like we have these videos.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But I do believe that like there is a role for every type of person. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you are just, I mean, this is why ER doctors they can have some of the darkest humor you've ever heard because they have to be in the face
Right.
of blood and guts all day. And if they're weeping, they can't save you.
Right.
And so like I know that the levity that I move through the world with, even it is maybe because I fear pain, but it also gives you stamina to stay in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're
and
not
it's-
just like, all
It
the
is
time.
Right.
it is an act of service. You see that in most people that have endured pain have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
At least from what I've witnessed. You go into a room of Alcoholics Anonymous and they'll be like, I want to die, and everyone just laughs.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, it's not that they're laughing at their pain, but they're laughing at the recognition of how hard it is to be human.
Yeah.
And we need those breaks. And that's like, whenever we'll get like really deep and then Rachel will throw something in.
Because I
and
have
it's-
so much trauma and pain.
yeah, no, but it'll be exactly what we needed in the moment to lift
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
that dance.
It is a dance.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is I think one of the great gifts of having a community of friends where people have different strengths.
Yeah.
I mean, we're meant to live in a community of like different strengths.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes, and I don't know the reasons, and I wish I did, people get siloed into like, guys will just have surface macho guys and that's all their friends.
Right.
And they wonder why they're secretly depressed and they have no one to tell that to except their poor wife who would, it's like there's so much lack of this balance where you have the different types of people to bring out the different sides of you. Like I'm such a believer that I am a different person and a different friend to every friend based on the alchemy of the combo of the two of us.
Yes.
Like you and I are going to get a different coffee chat than you and I'm going to learn more about myself and each other because it's like that mixture is a delicious, unique experience.
Right.
And
Totally.
I wish everybody would do that more, but I don't know.
You know, it brings up a question to me. I think that this book brings up one of the most important conversations we could possibly be having right now. And that's, how do we love each other through our differences? Because the fact that you can have fundamental differences in your belief system, in your makeup, and as your mom, and you can still love her and accept her. And how do you do that? Because it seems like people are really, really struggling with this, and people are walking away from relationships where I think learning about the person and going, oh, that's their blankie, whether it's the church or whether it's whatever it is they believe in. If you see the why and what that's doing for their life, maybe you can be a little bit more accepting. But I'd love to hear how we as a society and as people can love each other regardless of our belief systems.
Oh my, I love the image of, oh, that's their blankie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even, you see somebody who's like screaming about politics and whatever, and you're like, that's their blankie.
That's
like
It is.
I've seen so many people, because I grew up so religious, and I'm just like, religion is so stupid. And then people will deconstruct their religion and then become obsessed with politics.
Totally.
Or they'll deconstruct their religion and become obsessed with crystals or whatever it is. And I'm like, people just go, they just move the chess pieces around to create the same thing.
Right.
I would say that the reason that I can have a strong and lovely relationship with my mother is that I separated from her and built a community of safety to where I would not die if I lost her. And I did this, it's funny, like I think about when I was growing up in Nashville, I was like, I'm going to California or New York City, because I want to get out of here. And that's like, it's so funny. That's like the stereotypical dream of like a gay kid or just like a kid with showbiz in their eyes. There's some like background motivation of like, I want to go somewhere where I'm fully accepted and where I can experiment and try things without the lens of this world that makes me feel crushed.
Yeah.
Like I want to go somewhere and not be observed by them, try things. And I did that. And what was so interesting is in high school, I knew that I was going to have to tell I loved my friends in high school. I loved high school. And part of my like control everything is I was student body president. I was head of whatever. Cause I'm like, now that I look back on it, I was like, oh, I was trying to control everything to be okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to tell all my friends that I'm gay before I move to LA, because if I don't, they're going to think California changed me.
Oh.
So I need them to know now that I was this already.
Yeah.
And I waited to the last minute.
Before you hopped
2
on that
weeks
bus.
before I moved to college. But I knew that I needed to go. Oh, what I was going to say is I had this background hum my whole childhood that when people find out, you will lose everything. So every experience that I had was colored with, once they find out, that friend will never talk to you again.
Oh my God.
Your family will disown you. It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah,
It's a horrendous
anxiety,
feeling.
like everything.
There's a fabulous book I always talk about. It's called Far from the Tree. Really recommend it. It's very big, but it's about how there's two types. This is a side tangent, but I really just think it's so important. There's horizontal identity and vertical identity. So like if I'm white and you're white and we have a child, they're probably going to be white. And that's a vertical identity. Whiteness in America is an experience that we know what that's like. So we can pass that down. If you're Catholic and I'm Catholic and we raise our kid Catholic, that's a vertical identity that we pass down. If we're American, pass down. But we could have a child that is autistic. And we don't know what it's like to be autistic. And they then have to find a horizontal identity of find other autistic people that they can connect with.
Yeah.
So there's these horizontal identities are where a child is experiencing something and is a part of a community that the parents know nothing about.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the book is all about that. So it's autism, it's blindness, It's
Wow.
trans and queer.
Mm-hmm.
It's genius.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Like
Everything. Yeah.
2 C+ students could have a genius Einstein child and they don't know what to
Wow.
do with that.
That
I
was
need to
me.
read
No,
this
I'm just
book.
kidding.
It's profound.
My son has hearing loss, and
Oh my, I have
Learning
chills.
to-
This book is
yeah.
so,
Yeah, you're gonna.
and
yeah.
the author is gay, Andrew Solomon. And one of the things that he writes about is a natural insidiousness of queerness
Mhm.
is that it is a otherness that is discovered privately.
Mm.
Right.
Like if you're black and you look around and there's another black kid in the cafeteria, boom, I'm going to go sit with them.
Mhm.
Right.
If you're gay, you start to think, what if I'm gay? And you're scared to be gay because that's bad.
Right.
So, and then you're like, someone calls you gay and you're now interrogating the way you move that you never thought about before.
Mm.
And so now you're scared to move. And you're scared to, if you see another gay kid, you're not going to go befriend them because then people are definitely going to think you're
Think you're
gay. So
gay.
now you're bullying them to prove that you're not gay.
Right.
It's this very insidious situation that's all happening privately. So you don't even know who to talk to.
Wow.
And it creates this like cycle of shame. So anyway, this book is great and he talks all about that. So I was trying to build, I just had this innate sense of I'm going to lose everything.
Mhm.
Whatever. So I moved to California, and made the most amazing, life-affirming, me-affirming friends. And I just felt so good in the background of my mind being like, if I lost all of Nashville, I have LA. I have a chosen family.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people find chosen family when
Yes.
they, that's the hope. So with that strength, I was able to, come out to my family. My family, everyone's dope and cool with it, except my sweet mama. And she dies for me. She loves
Of course
me.
you
Yeah.
did.
And by the way, her non-affirmation of my sexuality is her loving me because she believes deeply and was taught that it is a destructive lifestyle.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so that is her loving me.
She's in alignment with
She
her
is
values.
told it's exactly the same as being
Yes.
an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
I love alcohol, but it will kill me.
Mhm.
And everyone in LA is telling me alcohol is your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 blah. This is what she thinks. So just with a little distance and with a little that, I was able to see that I'm safe. And so I can have this relationship with my mom. It still activates me, triggers
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
It still upsets me. But I have my feet planted in my own life where I can stand in my manness, my manhood, and approach her as an adult with boundaries and love her
Mhm.
from a distance.
Mhm.
And it really worked. Now, I will say some people have parents or family members that do not have my mother's tangential positive traits. My mom is hilarious. My mom is sweet. My mom is adventurous. My mom is positive and will just exclaim every time she sees a deer or a sunbeam. There's a brightness to her that makes her easy to love.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
Some
that's a
people,
gift. Yeah.
Right.
that is a piece. And I don't want to minimize that because, like any traumatized person, my life is very compartmentalized. I can easily forget that she has a lot of beliefs that I want to destroy
Yeah.
and just enjoy her company.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a piece of it.
That's
Right.
a piece of it. But I think it's important that you're able to do that because we're all asking for acceptance in different ways,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And it seems lately a lot of people are asking for acceptance, but then also not willing to give it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a tough thing we can't ask for something we're not willing to give.
You're so profound. That's really one of the things I wrote about in this book is that I'm asking my mom to accept a belief that she doesn't believe and love me in spite of her convictions. And in a way, she's asking the same from me.
Yeah.
Right.
That she's asking me to tolerate a belief that I think is wrong,
Mhm.
which is what I do with her.
Right.
Correct.
And I remember it's amazing how everything in life is connected if you like turn your neurons on.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
reading about the Constitution of the United States and like the founding of our country.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about civil society and civilization. And I was thinking about how the difference between civilization and civil society and utopia
Mm-hmm.
is the word civil. Civil implies you do you, I'll do me, we won't
Civil.
shoot each
Right.
other.
Right.
Right.
Civil implies we
We're civil.
disagree,
Right.
Right.
but we can still shop at Trader Joe's together.
Right.
We don't have to talk about everything.
Right.
But don't step on me, I won't step on you as
Mhm.
little as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think a lot of people think we're trying to find utopia where everyone has to agree about everything. And that's just not going to happen. And that's why it's called civilization.
Correct.
And so I'm just like, let's be in pursuit of civility,
Yes.
Right.
or else we will destroy ourselves.
Destroy.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
I know. That's actually brilliant, quite frankly.
Yeah. And I think people need to hear it put out that simply.
It is. It's because it's a simple explanation, but it makes so much sense.
And yet there's so much importance around activism and fighting. And like you can see like things can backslide and we can lose rights. And
I
like
know.
Uh-huh.
these things are real. Like the fight is real,
Yes.
Right.
but you've got to hold the world with both hands of like the people that you are fighting tooth and nail with are also humans with their blankies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to protect them
Right.
in spite of their blankie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
And hope that they would do the same for you because we might not be right about everything.
No.
I know.
Even though we
Maybe.
probably
It's
We probably
really
are,
hard
but
to
maybe.
accept, right?
What did your mom think of the book?
So this is interesting if you have any thought of writing a memoir about people that are alive.
Ugh,
It's
yeah.
really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll read it. And if you have anything interesting to say, it's probably not pure propaganda cuddles. It's
Mhm.
like hard things.
Yeah.
And my mom had a much harder time with To Shake the Sleeping Self than this book. did.
Really?
Because my mom spent so much time in the shadow of my dad and then she had no voice and all of a sudden I had a big voice. And then
Right.
she's even though I'm talking about her lovingly, she is the foil, the antagonist to my protagonist.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so before my first book came out, she was very nervous that people would hate her
Mm.
because,
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
like a conservative Trump supporter. Like you go online and there's people that are ready to kill.
Yeah.
And so she was nervous, but for that first book, my editor gave me this great advice, which was whenever you write about somebody, they're not going to like it.
No.
And so what you do is you give her the manuscript and you say, what exactly did I say incorrectly? What would you change? And you put the onus on them.
Mhm.
And so she went through and she actually didn't change much. She just changed a few wordings of things. And by the way, her wording was like funnier or more
Brilliant.
brilliant. So I was like nailing it. But then that gave her some agency over how she was represented, which was great.
I love
yeah,
that.
that is
And-
great.
And in this book, in that book and this book, my intention was if I do my job well,
Mhm.
her best friends and she can read this book and perceive herself to be the hero.
Mm.
And
love
I'm
that.
the belligerent narrator.
Mm.
Or if you're my friend, you can read this and be like, oh, Barb, get it together. Why are we still fighting over this? Where if I've represented both characters lovingly and truthfully, you can choose your own adventure.
I love that.
Right.
Because that's reality.
Right.
And it's actually not like, it's not wise, it's not good writing if like the villain is a caricature.
In any
Right.
writing,
No,
in
yeah.
any film,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
anything.
It's not
like,
believable. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
everyone has their reasons.
Exactly.
Right.
And if you can
Everyone.
really make that compelling. And so that was my goal with this. And so she read it and she's a little bit like, do you have to air all our dirty laundry? And
Yes.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because to tie it back, so much of the gay experience was I have no one to talk to.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so at least with a book like this, you can take the cover off, and just read it with the like blank cover. And you can read that book wherever you are and be learning something if you're afraid to talk to somebody. Like you can have this conversation with me privately.
Yeah.
Which I want to give that to somebody.
Well, see, again, it goes back to the service. It goes back to the why. Yes, we have to air our dirty laundry because there's people out there that need it. And, you know, anyone in any sort of faith-based community can sometimes really get behind wanting to help people.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's whether you believe in it or not, if you really ask people to be of service, they usually show up.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, because I was raised and in my 20s, like, so evangelical, like, like helping, you know, building houses in Tijuana, whatever.
Nice.
It was amazing. But there was also this, like, Jesus needs you to do this and like you better be doing it. There was this like layer of Christian guilt and this and that. And then also you're like doing something nice for somebody and then you're like, and this is, you know, the gospel. Now change your religion. And they go, we're already Christian. And I'm like, oh, like it's embarrassing. So I have this like interesting visceral knee-jerk activation around like charity work, even though I believe in it so deeply and it's so important. I can just feel like the motivation was tainted in some of the Christianness of some of the things from my early 20s, which is part of why I was so drawn to Invisible Children is because it was all service and pure friendship and not any proselytization. You weren't like trying to convince anybody of anything except that war is bad.
Right.
Which was great. But for me, the purpose and the mission, like the person I'm trying to influence with my writing, I write for me when I was 22. Like I'm picturing somewhere in Alabama, there is a 22-year-old gay kid and that's me and wishes they could figure out who to talk to and they can't. And maybe they could go to Barnes and Noble.
Right.
You know, like I wish. And that 22-year-old kid cannot imagine being in LA and 40 and having the job of their dreams with the friends of his dreams and the life of his dreams. Like that is not even possible. I can't imagine that. And it's like, it's real and it's coming for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
But
so
it's
I just want to tell him.
Right. It's like when everyone's always like, what would you tell your younger self? You're literally
like, I did.
You're like, I just did.
Yeah.
And now it can help other younger selves.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, and that also insulates me from trying to imagine the experience. Like, I'm not writing for like the amorphous masses. I don't know what they want.
Right.
I don't know what's important to a woman. I don't know what's important to a person of color that's living wherever. Like, I can't imagine that, but I can imagine me at 22 and what he needed. And maybe the universal truth of that will translate.
Yeah.
But I think it could also be helpful for the mothers that are in that situation and to have a little bit more perspective and understanding what it's like to grow up as a gay man and what that life turns into. And I think it could also be comforting in the sense of like, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
You know, so giving them a little bit of perspective too, if any of the parents are struggling with their child's, you know, sexuality or any of it.
I'm fascinated by I've had quite a few young mothers read this who have like babies or like 4-year-olds. And they were so moved by, wow, I hope my child wants to take me on a road trip when he's 40. Like, and wants to know me the way I am right now, because this blob who is like sucking me dry, I can't imagine
doing shit for me.
Yeah. And then like, is he going to even care what I was like now when I was cool and hot?
Right.
Like, is he going to know that? Like, that's really interesting.
Right. That is interesting.
Because it's also honoring for you want your kid. But one thing that I think about so much is every generation has to go through the gauntlet, the majority of us, of the next generation believing something that we're not comfortable with.
Of course.
You know, like whether it's gay marriage for the boomers and then it's trans rights for the Gen X and young boomers, or I mean, even millennials, some millennials are like really stressed. And I'm like, what is the thing that Gen
Yeah.
Alpha or whatever is going to be so strongly convinced of that we're like, I'm sorry, I'm old school.
I'm
Can't
old
do it.
school.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't do it. And I have a theory.
I was
Oh,
going to
do
say,
it.
what is it?
Do tell.
I knew.
I think that it might become very normal for people to have romantic relationships with AI.
I was going to say, I know it has something
What?
to do with AI.
Haven't you seen Her?
Yeah,
That's a
of
great
course.
movie.
Oh, yes.
Where he
Yes.
falls in love with
Love
Scarlett
Right.
Johansson, the phone.
The phone, yeah.
I am convinced that
Yeah.
that's coming, and that these kids, it might not be your kids, it might be your grandkids.
Right.
They're going to be like, Grandma, you don't get it.
You don't get
She's
it.
the love of my life. And you're going to be like, she's not real.
No, see, like our reaction is like, there's no fucking way.
There's no fucking way.
There's a way. And not only that, I think it's even going to go further as in our kids. It's going to be like, don't chip yourself. Like, don't become part computer. Like, keep the natural.
We're going to
you're
be
human.
Heart computer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
just
see?
went granny with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's all gonna happen. Like it's already happening.
I can't. Like, I'm already like,
And maybe like this thing, I don't know. Maybe we should say don't. Maybe that's too far. But I don't know. Like every generation that when you're the younger generation,
Right.
and every time the older generation says that, you're like, get with it. You're wrong.
Get over it.
Right.
I kind of feel like adapt or die. That's how I feel.
I do too.
Like I'm like, go with what's
I do too.
But-
then sometimes there's the like, there's the old Mary Oliver in the woods who's like, your addiction to your phone is killing your soul. And
It is.
she's like, right. So I'm like, and then a young person's like, well, sorry, I love my phone.
Right.
And then she's like, well, you're wrong. And in that scenario, the granny in the woods is correct.
Correct.
However,
Tell me.
if we adapt, we don't know. It's just like addiction. Whatever brings you to your knees brings you to your enlightenment.
Mhm.
And so the kids, the generations, they may need to fall into these patterns to create what's next
Mhm.
and to get back to that. Like,
You're right.
So it's part of the process of bringing it back to the soul. And sometimes it's us losing it that brings us back to it.
Yes, and really seeing what's important by
Yeah.
the juxtaposition of going too far.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I'm still granny.
Briar's like,
This
Mom,
granny.
I'm going to chip my brain. Well, they're doing it so that you could be a better athlete, so you could be a better student. Like they're testing these theories of what if you could be the best at anything humans are capable of doing.
We actually are it's hard to say. I mean, they probably said this in past generations, but in our generation,
Yeah.
I think in the next 30 years, things could get real wacky. Like I'm talking about full AI, whatever. And I'm also talking about bespoke vaccines that cure all diseases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about they might be able to stop aging.
That's what my husband's work is, longevity. And they're all trying to figure out.
Isn't that like the blue zones though?
No, it's not blue
No,
zones.
blue zones
this
is like-
more like singularity type.
Yeah. This is more like the reason that our cells decay as we get older is like around after 50 copies, they start to like lose information. And that's why they're wired to do that. But they can turn that off.
Yeah. So like there's all these like
But imagine
stem cells, all this stuff that Jeff came home from. We just went to a conference on stem cells and he came home and I was like, oh, I'm stem celling Shepherd because my son has a chromosomal deletion syndrome. And they're like, there's ways to start replacing these genes. And we're
Wow.
just like, we're not there yet. Don't worry.
Granny.
Don't worry.
Granny over here.
Granny's on the
Lighting
porch.
stage. Oh,
Yeah.
God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God.
But they're
Granny's in
coming
a
up
rocker.
with these wild ways to regenerate.
I know, but imagine in 30, 40 years,
Yeah.
we'll still be alive and probably even without crazy, crazy stuff, our generation is going to live probably longer than ever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're going to hack human cells and be like, oh, actually you can live to be around 250 or maybe indefinitely.
Yeah.
And then imagine like the moral cascade of what that means is so scary and
Right.
weird.
But like, why would you? Isn't there a movie where someone just like keeps?
Oh, there's tons. There's like,
There's like
I
a
know.
lot.
We've been, all the things that we imagine in movies are just going to eventually come true.
They
yeah,
are.
if we can
Hello?
imagine it. Yeah.
I mean, when you look, you go back to look at like Back to the Future or like
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is, or even talking to someone on fucking FaceTime. Like you can
Yeah.
screen.
You can, yeah.
We're the Jetsons.
But it's here. Yeah, we are. The Jetsons predicted everything. But like, it's just that alone is still Granny.
I
Like
know.
80-year-old Granny, just like, what the fuck is happening?
I
Like
know.
a car's gonna fly, or it already does, or something.
I know. Well, I mean, we get so accustomed to things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm walking through my house and I say, Alexa, what's the weather today? And she
Oh,
tells
yeah.
me.
That's true.
Yeah,
have
we don't
I don't
robots
even think that
flinch.
feels totally
It's
not
totally
cool. I'm just like, Alexa, do something.
every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, Alexa, my kid asks questions, Alexa answers.
But like
'Cause I
even
don't know
me in
it.
high school would have thought that was so futuristic.
Totally. It is
Because it is.
futuristic.
Because it is.
It's totally
nuts.
futuristic.
I guess what they didn't really warn you is that when you live in the future, it's normal.
It's just like you
Right.
said about having kids. It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's going to be you just there.
Yeah.
Right.
you know?
Oh my
It's-
God.
I'm having a blast. I hope this is a 10-hour podcast.
I know.
This is going to be a weekend retreat.
It is. This is our own retreat.
Great.
Yeah.
What's our prompt?
Yeah. What
I
is
feel
our
like Jed
prompt?
would be the perfect person for questions.
Would you do it? Wait,
What?
What are you saying?
I just feel like you should do a little retreat with maybe just a little of us.
No, she's like, don't wait a year. We need it
Yeah,
now.
I don't know if you should wait a year.
Well,
because
my one request is, can it be in
It
this
could be
backyard?
here.
Yeah,
Because this
it could be-
is the
sure.
easiest
it could
backyard.
be here.
Yeah, backyard
Yeah.
is yours.
Okay, great.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Time.
Because we're both writing, and I think it would be really helpful to have some.
It would be helpful.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm workshopping like my next book.
Yes.
So it'd be kind of fun, like to get a little writers group together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to like just
And we
I'm
just have a
serious.
weekend where we just like drink
Throw things
coffee
at- yeah.
and then move on to drinking wine. And we just like, we have a dry erase board and we're like,
just
what are we doing here? And what are we working on?
Yeah.
What are the tips? I'm
Love
totally
it.
down. That
Oh.
sounds really fun.
We'll
We're doing
curate it. We'll help curate
Yeah.
it, and we'll do just like a little weekend
Well, let's
retreat.
be the new literati, you know, like
Yeah.
Paris in the 1920s. Why can't that be us?
why can't that be
Pasadena
us?
in the 2000s.
I thought you were going to say Paris in the early 2000s.
Paris Hilton in the early 2000s.
Can we get that?
Yeah. I love
That's
that
a
vibe
vibe.
too.
That is a vibe for
What
sure.
what were the like One Oak or whatever, like all the
Oh my
all
God,
the
all the
clubs that we go
clubs?
to?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. What?
Ledoux.
Let's also do that.
Let's also revisit.
Let's
bring
write
back
in the
Honestly.
day and then Paris it out at night.
Oh
That
my
would be
God.
a really fun weekend where we all
That
dress
would.
exactly in that fashion and we hire fake paparazzi and we go to all these clubs and just recreate it.
Well, yes.
And then recreate shot for shot famous photos from
Let's
that time.
do
Oh,
it.
Who's
That would
getting
be
out
a
of the
great-
car with no pants
that
That's
would-
what I'm saying, all of us.
Me. That would be a great coffee table book.
It would be
Oh,
a
it'd be so-
great
That
coffee.
Okay,
would be
wait,
so
can I give you
fun.
a side note?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to throw a party. Y'all can help.
Mhm.
I think the funnest party idea ever
Yeah.
is maybe for a birthday, you get 10, 15 of your friends and you get a big house up in Big Bear or you rent a house
Yeah.
and you're together for a weekend.
Yes.
But you set up cameras everywhere and then you set up a confessional room. Okay.
Like Big
and,
Brother.
And like Big Brother. And what you do is you just have the funnest weekend, but cameras are rolling constantly. But there's a confessional room. And
Oh,
you go into the room and you task everyone to make up a fight with someone. But the person you're fighting with can't know.
they don't know.
Oh my God.
So you're saying, can you believe what she just fucking said? And then you hire an editor to go through all the footage and construct drama out of nothing.
So brilliant.
And it's all based on the interviews in the confessional thing. And so then nobody knows what anyone said. You're just having a fun time. Everyone's getting drunker and drunker. And then like 3 months later, you just get the Vimeo link or whatever.
Oh.
And it's an episode of a reality show. And
That
you're
is
all in it.
genius.
Wouldn't that be the funniest
It would
party
be
favor of your
so-
life?
Yeah, but you
See,
could
but
have
this
that
is
as a
just-
company. Like people would be like, "Oh, it's Bachelorette. We're
Yeah.
gonna do
Oh my
the
God.
reality
It's a
thing."
party
Like,
company.
Wouldn't it be
party
so cool?
com-
Let's
it's
start it.
Genius.
It is. See his ideas, but like the thing is he'll actually do it.
I know. I'm gonna.
You
do it.
know, like
No,
he'll
that has
actually
to
do
happen.
it. It has to happen. I mean, we're there. We're
Wouldn't,
coming.
I know. Wouldn't you have?
But won't it ruin
you would
friendships for
sob
life?
laugh. No, because it's
It's
not
fake.
real.
It's
Yeah, you're
so
acting.
But what if we
Genius.
touch on some real things?
There would have to be some ground rules.
There'd have to be, Rachel's like, and that fucking
I would
bitch.
probably,
And that time, she
sit in
fucking
the edit
stole
and be
my
like,
boyfriend.
that person's getting too real.
That person's gotta reel him back in. Too real.
It's got to be like she used white napkins on a black tablecloth.
Yeah.
That really upsets me and it's triggering.
Well, I'm just obsessed. You come in and you go, Rachel's really offending me. She's saying the most fucking crazy things. And then the editor scrolls through and just does a supercut of
like
random
whatever
things you're saying around the
that
house.
have no
You're
context.
like,
Out
the
of
balloons
context.
are great.
It would be that editor would have, I think, the funniest time of their life.
Oh my God. That would be amazing.
That is so good.
See?
I'm telling you, that's a whole company where people would be like, I'm doing that for your birthday.
It's like the murder mystery party.
Yeah.
2023.
Well, you
And
could
beyond.
probably actually get an Airbnb that you own and have set it up for that. Like
That's
rent
what I mean.
this
It
house
lives
for
there.
that.
Yeah.
Because the cameras are there. The
It's already
booth is
set
there.
up.
And you would decorate it
God.
like one of those horrible reality show houses
Yes.
where like the
100%.
pillows are bright pink and
Or
it's
they're like plastic.
everything's ugly.
Yeah, and bright and like
And
uncomfortable.
like sterile. Why are they all look
Like
like
And the
fluorescent.
pool
Why do
is
they?
like-
Because it's a sound stage they build to look like a house.
And then people would love it because they've seen that so many times that they'd be like,
you're living in it.
they'd get their moment of fame.
Can we do a
of like,
version of like Love is Blind though? Do you not watch that show?
Of course. Wait, but how?
yeah.
I don't know. They just thought like we got.
Wait, I
like,
halfway
I
through this season.
I
Have you watched
haven't.
this
No,
before?
I'm only on like the first. I haven't gotten past like maybe the second episode.
Well, there's
it-
this. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so awkward. It's so cringy. But
Ugh.
of course, I love it.
Of course.
I just
can't
love-
stop watching.
What is so interesting is this is a wide ranging interview. What I
That's
have,
what
That's
we
what
like.
we're here for.
I love that I can turn that show on and I can be doing other things. I can be scrolling. I could be also
Yes.
watching TikTok and watch that show because it's like,
Yeah.
who cares? It's just insane.
there. It's insane.
Because there's different layers of things to watch on TV. Like some shows, you need to be
In
all
it.
the way in.
Yes.
When I actually really love a good dramatic show that is in another language because it forces me
You have
To
to pay
watch.
attention
pay
to read
attention.
it.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
a millennial, borderline Gen. Even though I'm an elder millennial, I have
Uh-huh.
the personality of a Gen Z, and so I just like it's very hard for me to focus on a TV show.
Yeah.
So it has to be in another language
Hmm.
because then I'm
I get it.
very.
You're
into it.
forced.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit the same.
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
was telling us that they're really into watching Korean soap operas?
I
My
do
mom
not
is.
know. Korean soap operas?
It's like a thing that people do.
She's
they
so
get really into it.
Russian, Colombian, foreign, Korean, like because
Got
she
it.
just blasts through everything, and then she's like, "Well, what now? Oh, there's a
Wow.
whole nother country here producing the most D-level
It's amazing.
soap operas you've ever seen. Gotta get addicted.
Gotta get
And they
addicted.
do. Can I just tell you, the best movie I've seen in like 5 years is called The Handmaiden. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It's Korean.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember when? How embarrassing! The iconic director who directed Parasite, Bong.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
He said when he won the Oscar, like finally the Oscar voters were able to get over the 1-inch barrier of subtitles, like the
Right.
giant 1-inch barrier.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine.
Imagine.
But so there's just like the Korean cinema is so amazing. And there's this movie called The Handmaiden.
hmm
It is so profound
Really?
and good.
Yeah.
It came out in like 2016. I'm like, like there's movies and then there are films.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
a film.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. I can't recommend it enough.
I'm gonna.
Not The
Wow.
Handmaid's Tale. It's not anything.
No.
Right.
The
The
Handmaid.
Handmaiden.
I wanna
Like you
see
will
it.
watch it like this.
Parasite was hard for me. It was so intense.
This is less intense, but
Same.
still something.
Okay.
It's
well,
a little
you
intense,
need
but-
something for
Yeah,
sure.
it'll keep your attention.
But it was just I felt very. Ooh.
Oh my gosh,
You
I
watched
know.
Parasite,
I
right?
didn't.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, it's edge of your
I
seat.
know. I need to get it together.
it was.
I need to watch more film and television.
When I have time, I watch Love is Blind because I don't
Mhm.
have time to sit and focus.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very fun though.
No.
I don't know how we're translating that to your new party company, but we are.
Oh, yeah.
now.
I don't either.
Well,
You don't know who's there, and you just talk to each other through. A
but you
whole-
know each other's voices if it's your
Well,
friends.
maybe it's people that aren't that close friends. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
You switch groups. You go to other people's parties instead of your own.
Oh, that's
You know?
interesting. What if
Yeah.
you had two different parties, but there's a side quest where you have to figure out
You have to go.
something or like prank each other? I don't know. It could get really elaborate,
We
I
could
mean,
get. I think we should.
This is just the beginning.
but also fun.
So fun.
Plotting people's chaotic weekends.
I love it.
Like massive fights, by the way.
I know it could go south, but we got to try.
No,
We're gonna try.
you'd have to do ground rules of like, please don't touch on anything that
Would be activating.
would be activating. Exactly.
Mm.
Activating. So it's such a helpful term.
It really
Isn't
is
it?
helpful. She has a lot of. I feel like Ruthie and her have probably
Yeah.
a lot of the same terms.
Probably.
She's very helpful.
Bless your ministry.
Yeah. God bless yours.
Yours. The
I need
Church
you to
of
talk
Jed.
to the listeners about olive oil in your coffee.
Yeah. So Rachel got me a latte, and
You're
there's
looking
this
at it like
thick yellow.
coagulating, like-
It couldn't
So
look worse.
It looks so creepy. It looks so gross.
It looks like
dude.
someone peed in the top of your.
Oh
cup.
God.
But I don't know why you got olive oil in my drink.
Are you
No,
meant to
it
shake
was-
it up?
I think you
I
are.
did.
It was an
But
accident.
you know oil. It goes
Technically, very famously,
yeah,
doesn't mix.
right.
Very famous.
You know
saying.
oil.
Yeah. It's a very famous saying.
Yeah.
You know oil.
It doesn't.
It was an accident because they offer
What do
this,
they
like,
offer?
new line of olive oil drinks, and I accidentally clicked that because I was like doing the before order because I was like,
Oh,
Oh, you did it online. You
I
didn't,
didn't just ask
accidentally
for
say.
it. No, I didn't accidentally say.
But
It tastes
Give me
great.
an olive oil coffee.
It tastes
would you
great.
get it again?
Um,
Interesting.
Interesting.
here's the thing, maybe.
So is
only
great
because,
too strong a word?
No, this tastes delicious.
Okay.
However, I don't know only because of the way it looks, but it is a great way to get some healthy fat into your coffee.
But my question is, because it's separated, are you just tasting the latte that you ordered? And then you get to the bottom and it's just thick olive oil coming up your straw? That sounds terrible.
I'm like, this tastes delightful. You're like, that's your latte.
That's the part that you
Oil.
ordered.
Bottom
Yeah.
where your straw is hitting.
You know oil.
You know oil.
You know oil.
But you do.
I do. I know
Yeah,
exactly
you're
what you're
like-
talking about.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, it's so
Okay.
good. I don't know. I probably wouldn't order it again.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
the real
That's
truth.
that's the truth behind
Yeah, when she said I accidentally ordered olive oil in your drink, I was like, how does one do that?
I know.
it.
That's
You're me.
like so weird. I added shoelaces to your latte. I'm so sorry they're in there.
It's just I don't know.
I didn't even know they offered that.
It's just Oh my god. What would you do if you found a dead body in your hotel room?
Oh, nice pivot.
You're welcome.
Uh,
Pain, trauma.
am I waking up to the dead body? I need a little more. Like if I'm checking in, then I would complain.
How would you complain?
I would be like,
Not I would run or scream. I would complain.
I would complain.
I'd
You
like
have a
to.
complaint box.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those little cards? I have.
I'm crying.
I have feedback.
Yeah.
I have feedback.
Paint the picture a little more.
Oh my god. I'm dying and crying. I can't. Oh my goodness.
I would complain.
Well, now I know that you were just complaining if it was there when you checked in. So let's go with you.
Okay.
Wake up to it.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, did you see that show, The Flight Attendant?
I haven't
You guys don't
watched
watch
it.
TV. Okay, you
I
did.
saw it. Yeah.
So I feel like in the first episode, this happens
Yes,
to her.
yeah.
She wakes up to a dead
What?
man in her bed.
Mhm.
In her bed?
In her bed, and that's like
That's the okay.
That's the hook.
Okay.
because
It's a
she
good,
like
it's a good show.
she has like a drug problem or something, and she like went
Blacks
a little wild,
out.
blacks
Oh,
out.
got
So it's like, what did I do? So that's a
Oh.
scenario where what did I do?
Mhm.
What did I do? If I didn't know the
See?
person,
Perfect for the questions.
yeah.
Yeah,
If I didn't know the person, it would vary. Like if it, like if it's someone, no. I think I would feel so confident of my innocence
Yeah.
that I would
Complain.
immediately run.
Complain.
No, I would complain. I'd be like, there is a dead person in my bed that I did not order.
Your breakfast card you leave out on the
I'm like looking for the cart. Can y'all come clean this up? It smells.
It's the best answer we've gotten so far.
God. Oh my
God,
God,
that's
Jed,
so
you
good.
fucking kill me.
I don't know what I would do, honestly.
But the fact that you take the time, you know, if you had to adopt a celebrity, who would it be?
And they live in my home.
Yeah,
They're yours.
You adopt them.
Cute. Well, Kevin Hart would fit. I have a very small house. Let me think. Let me think. Who do I want just around in my home?
Yeah.
I mean, Maya Rudolph came to mind.
Oh.
Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
Like someone
Yeah.
that's like, what a dream.
What a dream. You want to be like,
What a
hold
delight.
on for one. You want to like get into
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
I want to laugh.
Yep.
I want to have deep talks. I just feel like they could, like
Nail it.
Jennifer Coolidge. I feel like would be a delight.
Yes.
God, that
Yes.
would be a
Like
good
imagine
one.
doing life
I'm
with her.
coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dream.
That's
Dream.
perfect. That's a great answer. All right. What can you say during sex that you can also say at the dinner table?
I'm so self-conscious during sex. When I want to be like a hot talker.
Yeah.
But the moment I say something, I'm
takes
like,
you out.
wow, I am so embarrassing. Like it is so embarrassing because that nature that I have of the 30,000-foot view.
Yeah.
The best part of sex is the oblivion of self, where you're just like lost in the moment.
Yes.
But the moment I
Yeah.
speak,
You're out. It takes
You're
you
out.
completely.
I'm like, imagine what you look like from a distance. This is so embarrassing. So I mean, I want that in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
We haven't had that
We
one.
haven't had that
I
one.
want that in my mouth, or I'm about to eat that.
Oh. I hope to go to dinner with you and
Oh my God.
and your food comes
Yeah.
and you just look at it. I'm about to eat that.
I will. Yeah.
And then
I'm about to
I
eat
hope
that.
someone walks by
Oh my
and
God.
you
I'm about
say
to eat
the
that.
same thing.
I'm
Yeah.
about to eat that.
I'm about to eat that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, you got a taste of Jed.
Yes.
Aren't you grateful?
Yes, I belong to the church. I'm a devotee.
We are all devotees to the Church of Jed.
My God,
Been
I
in a
love
long
you.
time. I love you so much. I'm so happy that you have come back into my life.
I
Not that you ever
know.
were like gone, but like we didn't see each other.
I know it wasn't right,
It wasn't right.
and
But
it now needs to. That's
Yeah.
actually. I'm such a big believer. I'll never forget my friend's therapist. She was like dating the wrong guy or like trying to whatever, and she
Yeah.
was like so in love with him, but he wasn't right for her. And the therapist said, never disrespect a connection.
Ooh.
And just what that means is like, it is so hard to have a cosmic connection with someone.
Yeah.
The timing might not be right, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I feel that with friendships too, where it's like when you're living this life or whatever, and when the universe brings you together for a moment and you're just like kindred algorithm souls where
Yeah.
you just like fit, and then life takes you over here. It's so fun that you found each other because you know like that a certain type of algorithm is not temporally based. Like
Mhm.
you could not talk for 10 years and it's boom, you're back.
yeah.
It's the best.
Yes.
Because you're in the same river, you know, and we have friends
Yeah.
that were based on circumstance and time where
Mhm.
Sure.
you had a moment and then you both grow apart and then you see them again and there's like nothing to talk about except the time you were together.
Right.
Yes.
And that's
right.
fine too.
But that's a
a type of soul.
That is a type
But
of
there are
soul.
certain friends where you
Yeah.
can see them after like years and
Yeah.
it's just
and
like
I did not let you go. Yeah.
Click
Yeah.
I was
in.
like, oh my God.
that feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Those are
good.
those are the connections that are really special.
Yeah.
They're life giving.
Yeah.
You're life giving.
So are you?
Oh my God. I love you so much. We're so excited. Mother Nature.
Yes.
Everybody.
Mother Nature, it's out wherever books are sold. So if
Read
you want,
it.
What's
and
your
then
favorite-
if you want to
what's your-
listen to it, I
Oh.
read it. on
You're
Audible.
doing the oh
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I do my mom's voice. not extremely. I do just a light.
Can you
twang.
give us a little
yeah.
taste?
Well, it's just like I talk like this because that's like
That's
you know,
her.
just give it a little
A
twang.
little vibe.
A little twang.
because a lot of the book is conversations between us.
Yeah.
Right.
And like blowout fights.
So you have to do both sides.
Well, and it was very like, there are chapters in here that I wasn't even able to edit them because they're so activating that I wrote them once.
And then couldn't.
And I was
again.
like, I
that
can't
was it. Yeah.
see this again. And my editor did it. Thank God. And he did a great job.
Right.
And so the next time I read it was doing the Audible book where I'm doing the characters.
Wow.
But having a purpose of playing both roles and having the purpose of doing it helped me do that. But it was still very like,
Yeah.
there's a certain type of sweating, like emotional sweating that is different. It's like more like grimy or something because you're just like, your whole body's gently just like stressed.
It's a trauma response.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
yeah,
anyway.
therapeutic for sure.
But the book is also fun and funny. It's not trauma.
Well, it's you. So
Yeah,
of
I would
course.
imagine.
Yeah.
It's like the
It's
whole
like, that's how you take life.
life.
the dance.
goes
Yeah.
up
the
and
tango.
down.
It's well, I'm so
You know
excited.
oil.
Yeah.
You know oil.
You know oil. That's the tagline for this episode. And from now on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to text you every
You
once
need
in
to
a
get
while.
Well, you need to re-record that you're going to order that every day and get that damn oil to sponsor this show.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
You know,
that's our
it's-
thing. It's like, you know oil.
You know oil.
You know oil.
Yeah.
No, just randomly, he's going to get texts.
You know what could be a fun oil question
What's
is
that?
what doesn't mix?
Mm.
Which could just be like, what's a non-negotiable in your life? What doesn't mix? Like for me, it's people who are always late.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Mm.
Like,
She's like, this friendship
I'm not
isn't
late.
going to work.
I'm,
I thought you were being like,
punctual.
oh.
No, she's punctual.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
punctual.
Yeah.
I was more like, that's, see, cosmic soul connections.
Yeah, I
Or
just
you
like,
were never late.
No.
No, on timers.
We're on
but
timers.
what I actually want to get in the mind of someone who is always late because I'm like,
Me too.
because some of my favorite people are always late,
Right.
Really?
but their brain is like not calculating something that I don't know what
Correct.
it's not calculating.
Right.
I don't
Yeah, what is it about
understand
someone's
it.
brain? I don't
Like-
know. There's someone who's
And
old.
they're just like, their flight at LAX leaves in
Oh my
30
God.
minutes.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And they're in
that I
Pasadena.
can't.
And I'm like,
I can't.
how are you not stressed?
Yeah. No.
And they're like, I am stressed.
They're like, but I'm not dressed yet, so
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
I just cannot. KB was always like that and probably still is. Like she does not want to get to the airport early.
I can't.
Oh,
I have to be
really?
early. It
No, I don't
stresses
need to
me
be there
out.
3 hours early.
No, but
1
like
hour.
But
enough time to feel
I
not
don't
stressed.
even want to have to walk with a slight brisk pace. I
Right.
just want to stroll.
Yeah.
I want to time it
I'm
to
with
where
you.
I'm only strolling.
Yes. Strolling is key.
I always wonder, what are they doing that I'm not? Because
I know
I'm like,
people
I
that-
know I
I know
have to be there
people-
at this time. I'll shower, get ready.
Yeah.
pack,
Right.
What are they doing?
doing?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I know. But I know people as far as flying goes, they're like, well, there's always another flight. But I'm like,
What?
People
I
are.
missed a flight for the first time in my life, but it's because I got the time wrong.
Oh,
But that felt horrible. I'm like, I'm always,
yeah. I was
Early,
surprised
ready.
you missed your flight too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the
Surprising.
airline's fault, but, yeah.
it happens. Like you got the time wrong. Like you read it wrong, or you just remembered it wrong.
No,
She-
they didn't. They changed the time, but didn't
Oh.
send me an update.
Are you sure?
So you
I'm
didn't
positive.
get the time wrong. They
I
got
didn't
it.
get the time wrong, but it still felt bad because I'm like, what did I miss?
they
It's
normally
because I
like
did
text you or email.
They
you.
didn't.
Huh.
I know.
There's certain things that are evil. Like I was at an airport and they delayed the flight 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
I'm in the airport. So I'm like, well, I'm going to go. I don't even know what. I like, those like in
Yeah.
airport massage places, like
Yeah.
Express
Yeah.
Spa or whatever,
Yes.
where they're like, your face is in that hole and you're on display for everyone to get a back
I've
rub.
never done it.
Well, I have. And I'm doing this and that. But did you know that when they delay a flight 2 hours, if they can figure it out, they can
They
bump it
change
right
it.
back up instantly.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's not,
no.
the delay is not
It's not
guaranteed. If they can
permanent.
figure
It's
it
not a
out, boom,
permanent
they
delay.
can bump it back. So you better not go anywhere.
Oh, wow.
you better
have to
not
be right
maximize
there.
your time. They might bump it back and say, oh, we're back.
That's
No.
We're
Oh.
beginning boarding. So I was like,
Face down.
I was somewhere,
Ass up.
and well, what it was is I was like, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm like dead, and I like fell asleep, and I woke up. The plane left.
Mm-mm.
oh
so be
my
aware.
God.
Be aware.
That is fair.
There's
Very
injustice.
aware.
That is a fair
Airport.
warning. I was not aware of that.
No.
No,
Little
I've learned
tidbit.
so much today.
I know, me too.
Oh my God. Well, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for having
sharing
me.
so
and
much.
coming. And
If you ever need someone to answer your questions,
you're
respond to
you're our
them.
guy. I think you are just our go-to.
Yeah.
Like we're
That'll
just
be
gonna bring
fun.
you in
Yeah.
like once a month, whatever,
Yeah.
whenever you're available, and we're gonna just have you do these questions.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's my
That'd
favorite.
be so fun.
No, you are the person to answer.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Or just like a
And
little
it's like-
side segment sometimes.
Yeah, it'll be
Oh,
a
yeah.
side segment too where we workshop our questions and we see.
Oh,
You know?
Question workshop. That's
Yeah.
we have so many. I feel like you would really get into it.
good. Done.
Yeah.
Do you,
And then people can also write into us with their questions and you can answer them.
this is my dream life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Isn't
Well,
it?
you're living it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, great.
happening.
Okay,
It's
great.
happening now.
Feels good, right?
I know.
Love you.
Don't ever leave.
Don't plan
Ever.
to. I just heard the door lock.
We can't cut the cord.
I know. I'm taking the stem cells from this umbilical cord.
Oh my
Are
God,
you-
remember
you're-
when we
and I'm
talked about
banking them.
longevity?
Yeah.
You know what you should do with this episode?
What?
Is you should go, on today's episode, we talk about, and then just list
Longevity.
the things like dating AI, longevity,
Dead
family
body in the hotel
relationships,
room.
hiding dead bodies. Just like to give people like a clue of like where we're headed. And you're like, what?
Oh my God. And we walked across America.
Mhm. And Africa.
And Africa. I mean,
And had some
well, you didn't even say you
oil.
rode your bike from how to go.
Oh yeah.
Give
So
the-
my first book.
Sorry, wait.
So my
we're not
parents-
letting you leave.
My parents walked across America, and then I was inspired by them. When I turned 30, I quit my job because I was like, I want to be a writer. That's my dream. But I don't know what to write about. So maybe if I go on a big adventure and I'm a bad writer, at least the adventure is interesting. So I quit my job and rode my bicycle from Oregon to the bottom of South America for a year and a half. And
Do you believe
wrote a
that?
book About it.
That's so insane.
Do you believe that?
It was awesome.
I mean, I do.
I
only
know because now you know. Yeah,
because
I know.
I believe it. But
I know. I mean, so cool.
So that's a fun adventure.
Yeah. That is a fun
I mean,
adventure.
I probably will never do it,
read
but
to
yeah.
shake the sleeping self, and
Shake the
then
sleeping self.
now read Mother Nature,
And then read
and
Mother
get
Nature.
into Jed's mind a little bit because everyone should live there for at least
It's
a portion of their life.
It's a nice
Yeah.
place.
It is a nice place.
good.
Anyone should stay a while. Airbnb.
Overcaffeinated.
You might have. There might be confessionals in there.
I'm so excited for the confession.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I know we have. Okay, we love you.
Okay.
All right.
Love
Okay.
you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
Hi guys. So we
Hi.
haven't seen each other. Well, we haven't seen Rob.
Yeah.
Since the holidays and stuff.
How was your holiday?
It's good.
Was Seattle rainy?
Yeah, it rained quite a bit.
Why'd you go to Seattle?
The food?
Why wouldn't we go to Seattle? So what do you got against Seattle?
Nothing.
She just wants to know why that was
Like
the
most
decision.
people are like, oh, I went to see my Uncle Barry or
Does Rob have an Uncle Barry? Because that would be amazing.
No, we've got friends up in Seattle and we've been trying to go to Seattle for a while and wanted to go somewhere for the holidays that wasn't home or to see family.
Oh, got it.
So we looked at where we could get flights out of Burbank to,
Always a
Oh.
wise decision.
Always a good decision.
except our flight was 2 hours delayed on Christmas Day.
It was?
Burbank.
That's always going to happen
Yeah.
around that time.
You think because of the holidays? Or what? It was weather.
The plane was just
Usually
like coming
weather. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you just mean around that time because of the
The holidays
Season.
usually fall in the season
winter?
of winter. Yeah.
Got it.
in.
Okay.
And yeah, so we went up there.
And you had good food, I would imagine.
Ton of good food. We had a very full schedule.
Yeah,
we
we
saw your
saw.
schedule. Rob sent us a full breakdown of their schedule. It was like itemized and organized and in columns, like a proper chart.
I've never seen anyone travel like that.
Never.
Yeah, well, I had put on social media requests for recommendations of specific things. So like, where should we go to lunch? Where's nice dinner? Where's coffee? Where should we take the kids?
Starbucks.
We got a lot of people who said Starbucks.
Did you?
So then I put it into an Excel doc, and then
How does Natalie feel about that doc? Like, does she appreciate it?
she
You got big doc energy.
She's the same way. So then, like, from that
Oh.
doc, we put together a schedule when we got there.
Wow.
And then there was like an argument of like, do we put the days in columns or rows or,
Right.
Oh my God.
Respect.
and then hourly, what we're doing.
Hourly?
We're nap time. I mean, it was just like before nap, after nap is essentially.
But do you follow it?
We followed it pretty closely, yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, we're just stuck in the Airbnb with the kids. And
Well,
that's.
no, you can go to, you have options.
No, it's,
Like-
it's either follow this Excel doc to the
No.
hour.
Because I've
or-
never done an Excel doc in my life and we don't get stuck in the Airbnb. We go, what do you feel like doing? Let's go to the whatever and let's eat.
Well, yeah, but then we feel like we're missing out on things. And there was a whole list of things we wanted to do.
It's great.
Places we wanted
I
to go
wish I
that
was like
needed
that.
reservations. And
What was the favorite thing you ate?
So hungry.
this place, Pancita.
What'd you
was the
get?
best. It was
Go
Mexican
further.
food.
Yeah, I
It
want to know
was-
the dish.
We had really good tacos and food there.
I'd like to do a food tour. We're gonna put together the Rob food tour. We're gonna do
Yeah,
it.
I want
Yeah.
to live like that. I just don't.
You
it doesn't
should
occur to
develop
me.
like an app.
Ooh, that's so smart.
You know,
you really
and
should.
it's like you have to be like invited, and like it's more like exclusive. And if you get in,
the
and then you
Raya
get
of
the
food
Rob,
apps.
the Robba,
You have
Yeah.
to know
The
someone.
problem is they have to be updated like fairly frequent.
and you can't travel that much to go
Yeah.
explore. Well, whatever, we could figure it out. Back
Oh yeah,
burner.
because we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure that one
we're gonna
out.
figure
Yeah.
that one out.
Yeah,
Rachel's got this.
I got
Rachel's
this.
got this.
You know what I got?
What?
Orthopedic sneakers.
So are they actually technically
Well,
orthopedic, or are they
no, they're
just
not. But
really
they're-
comfortable?
They're
sneakers?
recommended for like orthopedic
For old
use.
people.
You guys, I'm obsessed though. I don't know if you know, they're Hokas. You've heard of Hokas.
Do you work for them?
No, but I am a huge advocate because I am walking on clouds.
Is it making your foot better?
It's more comfortable to walk. So I've had a foot. I don't know if I talked about this before. Did
Yeah,
I?
you did.
Okay, so it's still going on. It's been at least like a month and a half now, probably. I did finally go see someone, and they think it could be a cyst in my foot.
How is that?
I don't know. It's bizarre. Anyway, I'm going to a podiatrist this week, so don't worry, everybody.
She'll keep us
Next
updated.
week, I will keep you posted. But I
Huh.
kind of am loving just wearing my old lady sneakers.
They're really cute.
They're
And
actually cute, right?
Jeff just got a pair. They're not platform like that, but he got a
They're
pair of
not
the running
platform sne-
shoes.
I was trying to convince like people to get these and if they're runners, and certain people I was talking to were like, no, that's all you, because I think the like the many layers.
They don't have to be platforms.
No, I know they
Jeff
come
got
in
them
many
running.
different ways.
And when we went to the store, I was like, "You're not buying those.
Mm.
What are those?"
They're cool, you guys.
And that's what everybody that worked there was saying. They're like, "Those are the single best running shoes."
I know.
We're not getting paid for this.
We're not getting paid for this, and I'm trying to convince people like they need to convert, but it's okay. We'll get there.
It was like you getting caught out Christmas shopping in your Crocs.
Listen,
Yeah, but that's
I'm a
cute.
huge Croc advocate
Yeah.
too.
I know.
I
You-
don't give a.
You like your big
I
comfy
love
shoes.
Crocs.
I like to be comfortable, you guys.
I remember, I will give you credit. You've been like this with shoes since before, like we were like 19 years old.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, you started wearing Uggs
Oh,
way before anyone was wearing them.
Ironically.
No, she
because
was.
they were my feet
No.
were warm and comfortable.
Yeah, you would wear Uggs, and I'd been like, do people do that? Is that like a thing? And then it became a huge sensation,
Uggs did become a huge sensation.
but you were ahead of the curve.
Thanks. I just like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And Hokas are now part of my fabulous trio.
I love
Uggs,
them.
Crocs,
I think they're
and
cute.
Hokas. Thanks. It's a cute color, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
want
know,
them now?
Yep.
yeah,
it's
I would
yellow.
look. I would probably look silly because my feet are big.
Well, you don't have to get all the platform if that's what you're thinking. But I kind of want you to put them on your foot.
And walk around.
I try to make people try on my shoes, and my feet are so small. Like I'll make guys, like a man, be like, "Hey, you have to feel how comfortable this is," and
Any
it's
man?
just their toe
Any one
that'll
of 'em?
fit. Any man I meet, I say, "Put my shoe on."
All right, we're back.
How was your holiday?
Yeah,
I was in the Great White North, You guys, I went tubing on a day where it was 16 degrees outside.
Wait a minute.
Did you?
Oh,
You
wait.
would reach those levels in Chicago.
16
Oh,
degrees
like
growing
is
up.
not-
snow
16's
tubing.
nothing?
No. 16?
Yeah. 16 degrees.
Fahrenheit?
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of tubing?
Snow tubing.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Not like river
My favorite
tubing.
movie.
That's what
Water.
I thought because you said it like, can you believe?
No, it's just
Can
really
you
cold.
believe I went sledding
Yeah,
It
I
was
was
really
like,
in
cold.
snow
But you
in
know what's
Canada?
so interesting? It was so cold, right? And there you're bundled or whatever. You expect the cold. Here, it was like 40 degrees in the morning,
Disgusting.
taking her to school. And I'm like, I can't take it. Like,
It was
it's
weird. I
so
had that
cold.
sensation too. Because
You
it was
did?
pretty cold in Seattle,
Oh.
which I liked it. It was like
Yeah.
30 to 40 at night.
Ooh.
I don't
Yeah.
like
And
that.
then coming
It's
back
cold.
here and
When
it
it's
was
cold,
cold.
you're like,
I was
wait a
"Oh,
minute."
this is much warmer, but why
Yeah,
do
it's
I
like-
feel so cold?
It's like not supposed to be that
It's
way.
never been this cold here. It's right?
No, it does this every year.
I don't think so.
Guys, you're going to be really excited about something.
What?
I was
Our
flying
coffee's
back.
almost here.
Oh, is it? I was flying back on the airplane. And like, so now I'll pay attention to like weird little things, like, you know, I'll be like, oh,
I could talk about that.
I can
on the
talk. I have
podcast.
something to talk about. And usually I'll make a note on my phone because of my memory. And I was in the airport actually. And you know, your public restrooms, like, bleh.
Ugh.
I always put, you always put stuff down on the seat, obviously, to go to the bathroom. And I was like, this is the biggest pet peeve of mine.
What?
If you put stuff down, but someone has gotten pee on the seat before you, and you sit down and you can feel the like cold, like
We've
wet.
talked about this.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
When it gets stuck to your butt.
Because it gets stuck to your butt.
No, just
Oh,
the
this
sense.
is different.
No, not that it gets stuck to your butt. That you're
Wait.
like, oh my God, is it seeping through and someone's pee is now
That's why I
on
don't
me.
sit on the seat.
Why?
You squat.
Yes.
The women's room has pee on the seat?
That's what I don't,
Always.
because the people that don't sit and squat,
Oh, it's
Yeah,
Olivia
but I'll
that's
take toilet
spraying all
paper
over
if
it.
I spray. No, I put a toilet seat cover down and then
and then
squat.
squat. Well, that's very
Yeah.
considerate of you. See,
Yeah,
I
Yeah, but it's
appreciate
also
that.
insane.
Huh?
It's also insane.
Why
It's-
is that insane?
Why? That's considerate.
I don't
I
want to
know.
sit on someone's pee.
Do you-
That's gross.
Do you put the seat up every time you pee?
No, most men's, it's like
No, I know, but at home or whatever,
at home, yeah.
you always put it up.
Yeah.
Do you
right?
put it back down?
Oh yeah, do you put it back down?
Yes.
You've
Does
got
Jeff put it back down?
Rob. I gotta tell you.
Respect that. I really like.
Not
yeah.
only that, you've got good toilets. I love.
Yeah.
being
Oh,
at
he
your
has
house.
the
Yeah.
fancy toilet.
He does. Every time I'm like,
Warm and it flushes for
It
you.
feels so good. It feels
Yeah.
It's
welcoming.
The best
and-
investment I think I've made.
I agree. Every
Yeah.
time I go to your house, I'm like,
No, so Briar, like in Canada, there's like that type of toilet, and Briar has just discovered how amazing it is.
so
So
good.
she's like, I'm going to the good toilet. I'm going to
Yeah.
the good bathroom.
Yeah. I just moved and my toilet seats
I know.
are freezing. Freezing.
But you didn't have heated toilet seats
No, but there's something different. Like
because they're like old school, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
that, like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they
Do
need.
you guys,
I need to
have you ever
change
sat
them.
on like the
What?
cushion
Just
seats?
replace them.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
replace
she's gonna
them.
replace
You
them.
can get the like they have the bidets that aren't like the full toilet either.
Yeah,
that
but
you
does
can
it
get
make
heated.
you warm?
Yeah, I think you can do heated seat. I think
I need a heated seat.
Oh, that's
sounds
what's the
present.
one brand? Not Toto, but
Oh, I know. I
Tushy, I think maybe.
Tushy,
I think
Tushy.
Tushy makes just like
Really?
add-ons to regular toilets because the Toto I have is the whole toilet.
That's the whole
I think I'm
toilet.
gonna get that for Briar as her next present. She would
Yeah.
be so excited. You guys, and I know I've said this before while we're on the subject of like peeing in public. The level of like pee anxiety I get in situations where it won't come out is so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Like Briar and I
Where it
went
won't
on the
come out?
airplane and she still wants to go together. And those she's getting big, guys. Those airplane
Yeah, they're
bathrooms are really
tiny.
small. Anyways, and we go in and the flight attendant's like, we'll go now because there's going to be turbulence, right? I'm like, fine. So we go in there and the turbulence starts. And I'm like, fuck, we got to pee quick so we can get back because they're like, everyone buckle, blah, blah, blah. So that anxiety, I was like, oh my God, like my pee is not coming out.
Yeah.
It's like that anxiety. What? It's pee anxiety.
I
Can
don't
you
have-
relate?
No.
What? Am I the only one?
Seems like when
I
you're by
wanna know.
yourself, especially in like a solo bathroom.
No,
you
Brian and I were in
it's
the
not when
airplane
she's by
bathroom.
herself. It's like
No, it's
pressure.
only if there's someone waiting to use it, right? Or, instances like that, it's not as easy to pee.
You've always had that though.
Always.
Like
I
I
don't know
could
if people
tell,
can
like I
relate.
would get like overprotective of who would go to the bathroom with us because I knew if certain people came in the bathroom with
wouldn't
us,
be able to
you wouldn't
pee.
be able to pee.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh,
You're
don't.
like a weird dog.
I'd be like, don't come in with us. She's not going to be able to pee.
Wouldn't be able to pee.
And I cared.
You did. You were
I'd be like-
concerned about my peeling.
I'd be like, don't let Genevieve in. It's like, Rachel won't be able to pee, and then we're going to have to
What
come
is
back.
that? Oh, that's so weird. I feel like it's also like, what? You know what it is? What? What were you going to say?
I remember this one time,
No.
Leah's sister, Sophia,
Mm-hmm.
we went into a bathroom. We were like at Hotel Cafe, and we all, girls go to the bathroom together.
Yeah.
You know, like we all
It's a thing.
like piled in the bathroom, and she was like trying to pee, and then she kicked out one of the girls.
That's amazing.
It was like Bridget or something.
She's
She
I
was like,
can't
I'm
pee.
so sorry, but like, can I ask you to leave?
Rachel can't pee.
It wasn't me. It was
No,
Sophia.
it was her. But
That's
she,
amazing that she
Yeah,
could
she-
advocate for herself
she
in that way.
advocated. Oh, it wasn't Bridget, but we did go pee under a bridge in Santa Monica with Bridget.
Bridget will pee anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone able to pop a squat like that. That's a
Yeah.
friend of ours. I will say, though, I think I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Do it.
I think the most level of comfort in a relationship, if you're like, come pee with me. Like if you can pee in
With a
front of your
significant
partner.
other?
Yeah. Like you feel safe and can pee.
Come pee
with-
you? And like, where are you?
Or like
doing
you're
it?
out in public and you're like, I don't want to, will you come with me? Like if you can
To the
ask
women's
that.
room?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not like my point more being, or even in the house.
He's saying like when you get to the point where you feel comfortable enough to be like,
Yeah, like
"Oh,
I could
come
pee in
and
front
I
of
can
this
pee in front of
person.
you.
I feel
I
like
can
that's
pee in
love.
front of anyone. I can pee in front of anyone.
I know you can, but for me, I feel like that's
yeah,
love.
that's love.
If I can pee in front of you,
I would never do anything else though.
you'd never go number 2 in front of Jeff. Never.
Never.
I don't understand that. Like
I
relationships were
don't.
like, yeah, the door's open, and I know
I
you
thought
guys
you were
don't.
saying you don't understand people that can't.
What?
No,
That can't poop in front of their
do that.
partner.
no,
I cannot do that.
no, I cannot do that.
I've
Like,
never
literally-
even. I don't even.
No, you
can't
don't
even-
toot in front of
Never.
Jeff.
No.
We said toot.
no.
No, I'm.
I
We're on the
feel
same
like-
page here.
Yeah,
feel
I know
like if
you
you're
are.
sitting there with the door open, taking a poop, like
Yeah.
there's just
You're too comfortable.
It's,
it's
too
like
comfortable.
Too comfortable. It's too comfortable.
No. Yeah.
And like if Jeff will fart,
yeah.
because guys
Yeah,
seem to be a
they're
little
more
bit
open.
more comfortable than women.
Some.
I just
Right?
remind him that he won't get sex.
What? You say if you fart, I will not have sex with you?
I say that's not sexy.
Oh.
And if you want that,
Talking to him like a little kid.
yeah, you can't do that.
Mama doesn't find that sexy.
If you want that, no. Just kidding.
If you want that nana.
I would never
What do you call
talk like
a
that.
vagina?
Oh yeah, great question.
Uh-huh.
Just a vagina.
Vagina?
Yeah.
Like even like sexy talk, you would be
Oh,
like,
Natalie, I want your vagina.
But I don't say that. So
Why does it kill me doing it to
So
Rob?
good. It's so good. So if Calvin, okay, I guess it's different because you don't have daughters.
I'm not calling it pussy in front of Calvin.
Oh,
What if you did? Oh my God.
I was traumatized.
Because your brother made you watch porn when you were 4?
No. Rachel, that's deep trauma. No, like second grade or something, first or second grade, we were reading the book James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah.
And there was like a big peach. And the kid next to me, I can't even say it.
You didn't have to.
He said, I bet that's what your P
In
word
second
looks
grade,
like.
he said pussy.
Yes.
In second grade.
That's why I've always hated that
If I
word.
whisper it for some
That's
reason.
why that's why I've always hated that word, because him saying that
A
to me.
second grader?
Second grade. He said, I bet that's what your looks like. And I remember being
The
like,
things that come out of these children.
traumatized
No.
by that. Like, I hated that word ever since, and like kind of
So
felt
you've
weird
never
about
used
peaches.
it like in sex talk?
I'm
or-
over it now.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
over it now.
You're
I
like,
can
no,
say
I
it.
say it all the time.
I say it on the daily. I can say it now, but like saying it in that context still makes me feel weird
Right.
because it was gross and traumatizing.
It's weird what kids cling on to. Like a month or two ago, I think I texted you guys this. I went to the arts district, Maru, and I took Calvin,
Yeah.
and we had to park by the Playpen,
Mhm.
which is a strip club.
Oh, right.
Oh,
And Calvin was like, "What?" Because the logo is like a naked woman.
yeah.
And he's like, "What is that?" And I told him, I was like, "It's where people dance naked." And he goes, "Oh, like my friend at school's mom's parties that she has." And I was like,
Wait, what?
"What are you talking about?" And we didn't really get into it too much because he didn't know how to explain it. But now he brings up naked dance parties
Yeah.
at school, like to the other
Oh.
kids.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
So now I think the parents probably think we're the ones having these
Naked
dance parties.
Dance
'Cause
parties.
Could you imagine showing up to Rob's with him and Natalie just open the door butt naked for a naked dance party? Here's the thing. To a
But
kid,
it's
though,
stuck
that
with
probably
him.
sounds fun because my kids have, like, that sounds fun to a kid.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
naked
In
dance
their
party?
mind, it's like, oh.
But he
like,
knows
yeah,
it's
good time.
inappropriate because he called
he
it
does.
like
Oh.
like sort of a bathroom word, but not really.
What does that mean?
Bathroom.
Bathroom words, what they at his preschool, you weren't allowed to say bathroom words. So like pee or poop
What?
or
So what would you say?
you can say it if you have to go to the
You
bathroom.
don't say it
but
at
you
the
don't
dinner
say-
table.
You don't
okay.
say
I
like
thought you meant they were allowed to use that if they had to go to the bathroom.
no.
It's like,
But they
what do
can't say like penis and things like that because those are bathroom words. That's how they
Mm,
like associated
My kids.
inappropriate words that they're not supposed to say.
got it.
So he like gets that it isn't something he's supposed to talk about, but it's just like stuck with him and he won't stop talking about
I love that.
these naked parties.
Naked dance parties. We know what you
Naked-
guys were up to on New Year's
Yeah.
Eve.
Oh, my parents just having a naked dance party.
Oh, I thought you were saying your parents.
No, I'm sure they did, but no. If anyone would have, it would have been them and your
Yeah.
mom.
Oh, my mom.
Your mom was-
Tuesday night.
Talk about her and my stepdad door open policy. So,
What did you guys
everything flies there.
What did you guys do for New Year's?
Where was I?
Did you,
You were
make
in
it?
Canada.
Oh yeah, I was in Canada. Briar threw like a whole party. She was so into it. It was really cute
Just for
for herself.
herself?
No.
Oh, for the
For
family.
family, yeah.
Oh, okay, got
She
it.
got really into it. It was really cute. What'd you guys do?
I went to sleep. This was like day 6
Oh.
of our trip, so we were
You were up there
exhausted.
and you went to sleep.
And we went to bed at like 10.
Did you do the countdown like fake for the kids?
Nope.
We did all the countdowns.
They were up till midnight?
No, I mean Elliot was. We went to our friend Matt's house and
Oh, you
just
went.
we were
You
just
were
like
out.
cozy. He made tacos, that kind of thing. But we did the countdowns of like
New York.
New York, and then we did
Chicago.
Chicago. Exactly. I don't love New Year's Eve. Do you?
No, I mean, were you going to get a sitter and ask someone to babysit and ruin their New Year's Eve? We found a sitter in Seattle that we used a couple
Yeah.
nights. That was great, but I felt rude asking her to come on New Year's Eve.
I think it depends on their age. You know?
She was like 30.
Yeah, she probably wants to do something.
Not
But if
sleep
they're
on the couch of our Airbnb.
Older.
Calvin got to see his favorite band again in Seattle.
Oh my God. You guys love them.
Who'd you see?
We saw the Head and the Heart.
I just wanted you to say.
Yeah.
I get scared sometimes.
Well,
they
I know
played
who
the
you went to
winter-
dinner with. I didn't know you went to their show, actually. I know
Well,
you
that's why
sent
we
us a picture, but
stayed- That's why we stayed so long, because she was like, we're playing the Winter
Oh.
Classic hockey game, which I'm all about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
At the
Who was
baseball
playing?
stadium. It was the Seattle Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights.
What's the Seattle's hockey team's name?
The Kraken.
Kraken?
They're new. They're like
I was going to
2 or
say,
3 seasons old.
yeah, I've never even heard that. Kraken, like what's Kraken? Or
Like
Kraken shell crabs?
like the sea creature.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
What's Kraken is not.
That's a thing.
No, I know, but that's not about the sea creature.
No,
No.
those are two separate things.
Yeah.
The sea creature called a Kraken?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a big octopus
Crustacean?
thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a Kraken?
Nope.
Octopus?
Nope.
Release
Nope.
the Kraken.
Nope.
No, I can't say that I've heard of this Kraken octopus
Nope.
before. And I feel like I know crustacean. That's not a crustacean.
I think it's like a
sea life.
mythological.
what
I
I'm
don't know
talking
if Krakens are real.
I know crustacean.
about.
Oh, me? I know crustacean.
I know crustacean. That's not one.
Yeah.
Oh, too much caffeine, no food.
I wish. Let me catch it.
Too much caffeine?
Yeah, I want to
I
catch a
woke up
buzz.
so early.
I'm so tired.
I don't
too.
like it.
I slept in the basement last night.
Why?
Why?
Were
You
in
got in a
trouble?
fight?
No. The dog has a hot spot, and Natalie was insisting on letting the dog sleep in her room.
She was?
And
She
you won't
was.
sleep in the bed if the
No.
Because
because
she's itching all night?
The night before I did, and she was licking and itching, and
noise.
I didn't sleep
Oh,
at
God.
all. And I was
Here's
like,
an-
I'm not,
okay.
the dog's in here. I'm not going to be in here.
Here's the thing. Can you not sleep if it's not like silent and completely dark? We were just talking about that.
If there was like a white noise machine, I would have been fine.
I have to sleep with that every night.
You sleep with white noise every
Every
night?
night. Because Jeff snores.
Oh.
So now I have had to start wearing earplugs. It's not comfortable. I can't stand them.
Mm-mm.
I don't
know.
like them.
That's a big issue. Like,
Oh
I would
my God,
have-
it's such a big
it would be
issue.
really
I'm
hard for
tired.
me to have a partner that snored.
Sleeping in Seattle, though, because
Yeah.
it was raining every morning,
Ooh, I
Yeah.
like
was
that.
like
Cozy.
pretty trippy. Of like, I normally can't sleep past like
You
7:30. Yeah, we slept in
Yeah.
accidentally till like 8:30.
See, to me, that sounds
multiple
like
times.
Heaven.
I couldn't tell you the last time I did that. Mm-mm.
But because it wasn't
My life.
sunny and you couldn't like look at the window and see what time it was.
Yeah.
We just kept sleeping because
That's
it was
heaven.
rainy.
That's amazing. That's like a Vegas casino.
Yep.
Yep.
No idea what time it is.
Yep.
I cannot. I have the hardest time with light. Falling
Sleeping
asleep.
with light.
With
Oh,
light.
with
I
light.
used to fall asleep with the TV on like all the
No,
time.
I don't do that. Yeah.
Now I don't. It's really hard for me. Or if I fall asleep and it's still on, it'll just keep waking me up.
I can't sleep
It's
with
like
the
a
TV on
sleep timer
anymore.
on.
Huh?
Sleep timer on the TV. You're so smart.
I can't fall asleep with it anymore.
I can't
me
sleep
I mean,
either.
I can
without-
fall asleep when it's on,
But like not asleep,
not asleep,
Yeah.
but you put it on, and I'll fall asleep. But then I wake up, and
Yeah.
it's the snoring. I'm losing my mind.
The snoring is really
Yeah.
a thing.
I'm trying to get him to sleep in another room, but now my brother's in our guest room, so
You don't have that option.
no,
Well, if the boys are in your bed, put Jeff in the boys' bed.
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
You pick him up in the middle of the night when he's sleeping and put him in his bed.
I asked him to move over the other night, like to roll to your side, and he went, "No." I was like, "Dude, I can't sleep."
That's
It
like
sucks.
it's like a new partner and you like start sleeping over, you know?
Yeah.
And you're just like you're like, oh my, it's like boomerang in the feet. Like if you lift the sheets and like the
What's
feet
that?
are good. You know,
Oh,
I'm
oh,
dating myself.
Oh, yeah,
the Eddie Murphy movie,
Yeah.
Boomerang, right? Do you know this?
No.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't
Yeah.
it a thing in that movie where
Maybe.
he's like obsessed with feet and like if she has pretty feet or something?
I don't remember.
It's something like that. And so anyway, that was a failed metaphor. Or is it a metaphor? Or is it a
An example.
I don't know.
my example?
I don't even have words right now. I'm not human.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, Rob.
Cut me out of this one.
But yeah, that's like
Please.
it's just a point is it's a big deal to discover is this person a snorer because that would be very
Well,
hard.
what do you do if they are?
Break up with them.
I am not with them anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't actually encountered a severe snoring problem
Oh, really?
in
Ever?
I don't know that I've ever been in a relationship with a severe snoring problem.
Did Jeff develop it? Or has he always been a bad snorer?
He's always snored. He got a sleep apnea monitor.
Does he have? Sleep
we
apnea?
just got it
I was going to say, yeah.
to see if it's
Mhm.
sleep apnea. He claims no one except for me has ever told him he snores.
Well,
he
I'm
doesn't
like-
believe that he snores.
What?
He says that about a lot of things. He'll be like, nobody besides you has ever told me that. And I'm like, what?
That doesn't
Like,
not make it true.
Yeah.
I could, oh man, that's so hard.
It's
I
really
feel
hard.
for
I
you.
feel
I
like
would
I'm
not-
struggling.
Yeah.
To
Like
be in a relationship with him.
no, the relationship is all right. It's
All right.
It's all right.
No, but you're not
It's the
sleeping.
part.
That's so hard.
I know.
Yeah, I was lucky. Like the longest, like never, I didn't have that issue. I would have gone crazy.
Do you want to go through your partners and just
You want to like talk about snoring levels?
if they snored or not?
I'm just
That'd be
telling you,
so
I've
fun.
never had a real snore.
Okay, I have a question. Having nothing to do with snoring. How would you feel about one of your friends hooking up with one of your exes? Let's say you had a relationship with someone that was great and we
Yeah.
all like that person a lot and we would want them around, right?
Yeah.
We'd want them still in our lives, part of the group.
Yeah.
And let's say we've got a handful of girls that are single,
Mhm.
women, grown ass women. Would you be okay with one of your friends dating said person?
So I think it's obviously circumstantial and like what the relationship is like between the two that dated.
But would it matter who the friend is?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously.
No.
it wouldn't matter who the friend is.
I know what you're talking about, so I can speak specifically to this.
It wouldn't matter who the friend is.
Not in that case.
No, it would probably matter who the friend is. I think. What do you think?
So like, would you be more generous with certain people? Because I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That's been presented to me. Like, let's say people I've hooked up with in the past, right? I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like,
You'd
ew,
be certain-
no,
certain
so-and-so
people.
can't hook up with him. But if you
so-and-so
were single,
could.
I might
You'd
be like,
let me.
I might let you. It's like a generosity of like, you can have him.
And you're just saying hook up with or had like a long
No, like
relationship?
to like set someone up with. Like,
Yeah.
like-
I'm saying anyone you hooked up with. Or are you just drawing this line for
no, I'm saying like a relationship
Yeah.
or someone you
Yeah,
hooked
there's
up with.
certain people I think that you would be more generous with.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because that struck me the other day, I was like, that person's single and that person's
I know
single.
exactly everyone you're thinking in your head right now.
And I was like, I wonder how that person would feel, you
She
know,
points to me.
that person.
you let Rachel with anyone and then
Yeah. Because I know she would be okay with some people, but I'm curious about others.
Interesting.
What about you?
Rob has no like
yeah.
context to like
Right.
compare or think about in that way. Right?
So it would depend on the person for you. You feel more stingy with some people and more generous with others?
Yeah, but in this exact thing you're talking about,
Yeah.
I really am thinking about it.
Yeah. Because, you know, I will say it's hard. Our group of friends is so close. Like, we've got a lot of
Well, it's
people for
like-
so many years,
So many years.
and it becomes like a family. So, like, if you date in to that family, you get close with all these people, and then you have to say goodbye to that person when they break up. And that kind of sucks for everyone,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm like, can't we just move pieces around on the chessboard?
You want to do a relationship question?
Okay.
You know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
I'm really thinking about it.
Because I thought, I was like,
Yeah. Right.
because I know.
But I don't think he would.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Do you? Like,
Right. No.
I don't know.
No, probably not.
Iffy. On the fencey.
Yeah.
Relationship question, Rob.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Me and my girlfriend got together 3 years ago in college and moved in together 8 months ago. Talking about her family, her biological father died in a car accident when she was just 2 years old. 4 years later, her mother remarried a man who has a 1-year-old son younger than my girlfriend. She has a great relationship with her stepfather and is especially close to her stepbrother because they were both little children when they met and have grown up together. She is very affectionate with him and vice versa, and I always found it quite endearing before we moved in together. He works closely to where we live and visits our apartment usually once a month. When he comes, I've noticed unusual physical intimacy between them, like extended, very tight hugs, hand-holding, cuddling on the sofa when watching TV, and I found it quite uncomfortable.
Pause.
Hold on.
Stepbrother.
Her stepbrother. But
And
they were,
her
yeah, she was 2 and he was 1 when
Right.
they met.
got together.
Mhm.
But the girl and the stepbrother are
The boyfriend is
Unusually-
uncomfortable with the relationship
got it.
of the...
It's like that episode of Friends. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
Last night, we were just casually talking about various things. When the topic turned to families, I said to her that it's great that she has such a wonderful relationship with her stepfather and brother, despite not being biologically related. She laughed and said that she and her brother has taken enough advantage of the fact they are not biological siblings. I was very weirded out by this conversation and asked her to explain. She said that they used to fool around a lot, then caught herself mid-sentence and seemed to realize what she said. She immediately changed the subject and went down saying that she forgot to do laundry. I did not talk anything else and went to sleep. Today, she was acting normally, went to her job, working from home, but can't focus at all considering how strange last night's talk was.
That's weird.
Would they have had any illicit relations? I really want to be wrong in this, but how would I talk to her about this without making it all sound disgusting?
It's creepy.
Are they still step siblings?
Yeah.
Are the parents
Yeah.
still married? Well, no.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't really change much.
That doesn't
Well, it
change
depends.
it.
Like if they got divorced when, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Morally, there's
Of
technically...
course.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let's break this down. Okay? So if just because 2 people grow up in the same house, right? Like let's say we had a commune and my son and your daughter were friends from the time they were in our tummies and around each other since babies. And then when they grew up, they ended up hooking up. There would be nothing weird about that.
Right.
Right? But because the parents are married, that
from a
changes
government
it.
convention.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, at first I'm like, that's so creepy and weird and all of that. But
If you sit with it and think about it.
is it?
Right. Because they're like forced brother and sister, but
Right.
they're not actually related.
Right. So I'm confused.
Yeah. I think your instant reaction, just as a society in the world, you're like, oh my God. But then when you actually think about it.
Yeah, biologically, there's nothing
Right.
linking them. I mean,
Obviously, she didn't think it was weird to say to her boyfriend, like, we fooled around.
Yeah, you just hook up with my brother, whatever.
I think the bigger concern is that she's still that comfortable around him while in a relationship with
Right.
boyfriend.
Like the boyfriend's
Yeah, well,
uncomfortable.
that is the part that needs to be discussed is the boundaries of like, regardless of what happened in the past, this is a boundary I have in a current relationship where your guys' physical intimacy makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That would be
Snuggling
the
with an ex that
Yeah.
isn't your stepbrother.
I would say snuggling. If I walked in and saw Jeff snuggling on
Or
the couch
holding
with
hands.
anyone, I would be wigged out, especially
What if
his
David and Jeff
sister.
were like, you like came home.
That would be the most
Well, yeah, what would you do?
traumatizing experience of my life.
I'm just picturing it.
That's just
And then he
stupid.
just casually said that they used to hook up.
But
Well,
I
she
mean,
clearly understands that it's going to be taken to be weird.
yeah, because it's taboo.
Yeah.
You know, but if you really break it down, it's like, what is so weird about that? to me, it's probably a little weird because they were probably really young. That's the part that's like, ooh.
Yeah, like how old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is different living in a commune and not living in a commune. They grew up in a home together
Yeah.
and had a
But also
sibling
kids-
relationship
And
from
they
a
were
young age.
in the same house, around the same age, and kids go through curiosity, whatever.
100%.
So I don't know.
But it's
They
weird. Their
do.
relationship, though, as siblings, even though they're not biological, it'd be the same as you and David.
No, it's not.
What?
Because we're biological.
No,
But
they
their
share
relationship
the
growing
same-
up is the same.
That's disgusting.
I know, but
Yeah,
it
no,
doesn't
that's like-
change. I'm saying
Ooh.
No, wait, we just took a weird turn.
Ugh.
I'm saying though, like
Yeah.
in this situation, she was 2 and he was 1,
Yeah, that's gross.
and they grew up in the same house together. That's the same
But
as you
there's
and your
some-
brother, or you and your brother.
But there's
Like
something written in our DNA that makes it like, because I don't know what that is. It's like, if you say that, there's something inside of me that's like, those, like, it's like repulsive.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that is our DNA so that we don't procreate.
So
with
you
our
think it's just instinctually making that happen? That there's
Yeah, I do. I think there's something, I think we might have talked about this, that there was a brother and sister
Yeah.
that the parents were going through a divorce while she was pregnant. It was twins. They gave birth to the babies. The father took one child and the mother took another child. And they were like, that's it, splitsies. Okay. Yeah, the kids came together, fell in love, got married, and they are in a relationship. They are biological brother and sister.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
My point was more though that the biological aspect isn't necessarily what would make it creepy.
That's what makes
I mean,
it
it's
creepy.
both. It's both. But the fact that you would have had the same relationship with David whether he had a different dad or not, growing up in a household together.
But we have the same mom. We have the same DNA.
I understand that.
So, but
I'm not defending it. I'm saying, though, I don't think her relationship, regardless of it being biological or not, would be any different with her brother.
the actual
Oh,
relationship.
you're saying
actual
okay,
relationship.
yeah. I get it. Right.
That familiar relationship
But there
between
is
siblings.
something different.
What I'm asking is
I think
it
there's something different, and I think it's genetic.
It's
I think-
purely instinctual that's making it repulsive, or
Yes. Yeah, I don't think it's relationship based. I feel like it's like a genetic component that we get an aversion to that
I
because
think it's both though. Like I think if they would have adopted David, it wouldn't have like all of a sudden. And you from how old? What's the age difference between the two of you?
7 years. Can
Okay,
we
well,
use
that
her as an example, please?
No,
I'm
I still
getting
have 4.5
grossed out.
years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that
What's your
the fact
difference
that, the
between
fact
you
that
and your sister?
they're so close in age.
Wait,
and
well, how
in
many
this
years
house,
between you and your
doesn't
sister?
matter.
Tell us, Rob.
The fact
How
that they're so
many?
close in age, even if it was adopted, wouldn't have changed that relationship.
Yeah, I get it.
between
I wonder
siblings.
how much that happens.
How many
though.
years, Rob?
Like
So many. 7.
I wonder
No.
how much that happens with step siblings.
Is it a
4.
year
It's
and
the
a
same
half?
as you. It's
Oh, it's
4.
four.
It's you, yeah.
You know?
Say it again.
I wonder how much that happens with step siblings.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Where it's like they grow up together, they're brother and sister, but like I think that there's something. Look
I think
if
it depends
someone's
on the age that it's happening. Like I think if
Yeah.
you're like kids in this case, 2 and 1, like they don't know any better that th're not biologically related. I think to them it's the same. But if it's like a 13-year-old and he's got a 16-year-old sister that's coming into the equation, that's going to be different.
he could very much be attracted to her.
Right.
Yeah. So weird.
So weird.
There's something about biological that's weird. So I know someone who was married, maybe not married. She had a baby with her second cousin.
Mhm.
And a few different people in their family are married to their cousins.
What? Who?
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but so the biological thing is the only thing that makes it weird for you?
My first instinct was like, gross, that's weird. But then when you think about it, it's like, what's the difference other than growing up in the same home? Then
Well, I mean, there's like two big components of it. It's the biological piece and then the like family piece. Because
no, it's just biological, because to me, it's not just as much about the family piece. Like, let's say, for instance, I have, I have another brother, right, that I didn't grow up with, that we met later on in life. It's equally as disgusting to think about because he is my biological brother.
Right.
To me, it's the biological part. So if they're not biological.
Except on first thought, you were repulsed by.
On first thought, I was 100% repulsed. What about you? Can we not talk to me anymore?
Olivia.
Yeah, no, the first thought is just a reaction because you always react. And the reaction is, what? Like, no way. Right?
Yeah.
But like thinking about it more and not knowing the situation, you're like, well, they're not biological. So it's just an interesting topic, I think, to talk about and think about because of what's ingrained in us and like just reacting to it. I don't know. I don't like this topic.
Yeah, I guess to me, I think biological or not.
Bless you.
If you have a sibling that you've known since you were born, you would still have the same relationship.
You would.
I don't think the
I
biological
understand that argument of growing up as brother and sister. Bless you.
I have one of our audience members that always writes me, bless you, Tarinor.
Are you serious? I know she always sneezes.
Here's the thing. So it's not just biological.
Okay.
And here's why. If we were to do a DNA test and we were to find out your brother
you weren't actually biological,
if your brother wasn't,
no chance
you wouldn't
that's my
decide
brother.
to get married
Right.
to him.
That's right. That's a good point.
If you found that out, I would still be like, that's the most disgusting thing in the world.
Point I'm trying to. I think it's the two things.
Right.
I think the biological thing,
fair.
there is something instinctually happening, but then there's also that component.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
We did it, guys.
We solved it.
We solved it.
All right. Well.
Anyways, it was
okay.
That's a good note to end this episode on.
What note was it?
That she wouldn't decide to marry her brother if she found out that they're not.
Oh my God, I think that was a joint.
Never.
No, my God, you guys. Please, I just can't. Like, can we just not? Stop.
Why does it like, it's so gross.
Stop.
Like, what is that?
Stop. Nope. But
Do you feel
Rob,
like that?
marrying your sister.
No.
How does that feel?
All right, let's end this one.
All right. Thanks, everybody.